Give me a second. I clicked the wrong thing and boom, there I am. Yes, it is 2:00. I am here. I'm excited to be talking about Batman 89 and Batman Returns with my very good friend, Luke Deckard.
Hello. Hello.
Hello. Yes, I love that reference. It's from his little story he made, his little short. And of all the clips he picked the one where he went, "Oh!"
Channeling my inner Rick Sanchez there.
Hello. But yes, Luke, hello. Yes. Today we're going to talk about our favorite Batman. I think our favorite Batman, because I still have a soft spot for Affleck, but whenever I look at Keaton, it's like I love Keaton.
Yes.
Keaton's the best. Yes.
Mm-hmm. He is my favorite. He is my him and why does the cartoon guy always escape? Kevin
Conroy.
Yeah, Keaton and Kevin are my two favorite Batmans. Mm-hmm. Even though I would have watched Adam West first.
Yes, same here.
But Keaton was the shit. Mm-hmm. And I can't. Sorry, I'm cussing too soon. Yeah, Keaton was the bee's knees, and mm-hmm. Then Kevin Conroy was a very close second, because I felt like the animated series almost sort of, I believed it could be like some sort of continuation of the Tim Burton universe, and
absolutely,
love it, love them.
Because there's even some like echoes or like inspirations that are like lifted from 89 when Batman's on the roof with the two robbers and he just fights them. It's like straight out of Batman 89, and it's perfect. Yes. And even the Batmobile is sort of similar to the other Batmobile. Just
it is
little differences, but very similar. But it makes sense because in Batman Returns, the car breaks apart. Yes. And so he would have to make a new Batmobile for the animated series, so it kind of makes sense. It checks out. Yes.
And then we get the Kilmerverse.
Yes, the Kilmerverse. What are your thoughts on the? Oh, hang on. I wish you stick to 89 because that's a whole different thing.
What's your question? I want to know just this one question.
Oh, just the question.
I'm curious.
Okay. Yeah. The question was, what are your thoughts on the Batman Forever Batmobile?
As a kid, I really liked it because I think I was just a silly kid.
Yeah.
The 89 Batmobile is the best of all the cinematic Batmobiles, mm-hmm. I think. Mm-hmm. I didn't hate it, but I wasn't. As I grew older, I thought, it's not as iconic. Like, okay, it's like when like a child like things, they need to take things to the next level. Instead of having 2 wings, it has 3 wings. You know, it's
and it glows.
I did have a phone. I had a phone in my room, and it was that Batmobile. And it was like the whole Batmobile was the stupid phone, and you had to pick the whole thing up. So a little 7-year-old me or whatever was like, hello.
Oh my God, that's great. But yeah, I'd see from Batmobiles for me, I feel like 89 is definitely cool. I love 89. I have nostalgia feelings for Batman Forever. I wouldn't say it's my favorite, but I do have nostalgia feelings for the Batman Forever one. Sure. As stupid as it is, I do sort of like the Batman Robin one, just because it's strictly just a toy. It literally just is a toy, and I love the bat. Oh, no pun intended, but the batshit insane tiny details, because the wheel literally has bat decals in the treads. And that's insane to me. That's insane that they actually got someone to make the tread to actually have bat symbols on it, and you can't even see it in the movie.
No,
but like they were that crazy to be like, let's put that on the actual Batmobile.
Yeah, I hated that Batmobile, but you're right, it's a toy. Yeah, he's outside, and like, why would he be outside? Why is he not? Why is he would have a hood? Like, what is this nonsense?
Yeah, but I think honestly, the best one, even though it's not really a Batmobile, is the Adam West one.
Oh, okay.
It's just a car. Yeah. It's straight up a car.
It is just a car. That one is cool. I saw it in person once.
Yes.
I've seen both. I've seen 89 and I've seen the Adam West version. A couple that it is a cool car, to be fair.
Yeah, same here.
It is cool. Yeah.
That's
probably number 2. That's probably my
number.
Yeah, for sure.
The Zack Snyder one is sort of forgettable, and the Tumbler I'm not really a fan of.
No, I never understood when the Tumbler was like destroyed. Was it destroyed? No, that was when they introduced a Tumbler as like the proto Batmobile, I was like, okay, cool. I'll buy it for this because it's Batman Begins, and I expected a sick ass Batmobile for the Dark Knight, and when it was just that same stupid Tumbler, I was like, Nolan, what? He's a guy dressed as a bat. He's eccentric enough to have a weird looking car. Like, come on. He makes little batarangs. Give him the car.
He's only been Batman for 6 months.
Is that it?
Yep.
That's stupid.
It is. It is. Like that's why I can't be too hard, or I guess I can be too hard on it. But like Batman and Batman, or the Dark Knight, I should say, are only 6 months. But between that time is 6 months. Because I think they mentioned it in the dialogue, like, oh yeah, he's cleaned up the town in like 6 months since Batman showed up. It's something like that. It's mentioned in the dialogue, like half a year or something like that. They say something like that. And then instantly after Dark Knight, we all know he retires. He doesn't fight crime after the Dark Knight ending. So he's only been Batman for 6 months. So it makes me laugh when that little kid is like using the chalk to draw on the wall. And he's like, do you think you'll come back? He's like, the kid didn't even know who he was when he was like 6 years old or whatever. Because like I think it's been like 8 years and the kid's like 11. So it had to be like 2 years old or whatever.
Yeah.
When Batman was out. So that there's like tons of like little details that it's like a sweater that you keep pulling strings on.
Yes.
For the Nolan movies that they just slowly fall apart, even though they're pretty decent. I don't want to shit on them, but like they're pretty decent. Like
no, I love Batman Begins. The Dark Knight is it's overly long, but it's still good. I won't mention The Dark Knight Rises.
Phil says the kid didn't even know who he was. We have Phil Dragish in the chat. Hello, Phil.
Philippe.
Okay, so go ahead.
I was saying, where's Captain Iron Dog? I'm waiting for some hot takes from Captain Iron Dog.
Hot takes. Yeah, I'm sure he'll watch the pre-recorded one, so that's fine. Because this one's a bit earlier. Not only that, but we're streaming on Chief Brody Rules just to hopefully get some more people in the crowd. Chief Brody Rules. So yes,
I watched Jaws the other day. I know this is another sidetrack, but I had to. 4th of July, I had to watch it, and I did. I went and got the 4K, and you know what? It's forking awesome.
Yes, it's wonderful. And I watched it too, because I shared the same image from the same scene.
Oh, we did. We did. That's right.
and I was too lazy to get my disc. And not only that, but it was hot that day. So I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to go to my Voodoo copy and just watch my Voodoo copy. The hell with getting up, going to get my disc and warming up the house with having the Blu-ray player warmed up. No. It's hot out.
Do not blame you.
It's hot. Okay, so let's get started. So, Luke.
Yes.
What was your first introduction to Batman 89?
My first introduction, if I'm remembering correctly, because 89, I was a couple of years old, so I would have watched it when I was probably around the 6 to 7 mark. I remember watching it very young. I remember because I remember Batman Returns marketing, and I remember the McDonald's stuff, and I have some of the McDonald's toys. So that put Batman, like cinematic Batman, in my face for the first time. So, but I didn't watch that one, but I definitely watched Batman around that 6-year-old kind of time frame, 6-7-year-old, and we would have rented it from the local library, and I would have watched it, with my parents, and then subsequently rented it many times afterwards. And I have vivid memories of renting it, going upstairs to the little playroom that we had upstairs, and putting it in and watching the Pepsi commercial first. So there was the Pepsi commercial, or was it Coke?
It's definitely Coca-Cola. I mean, even Diet Coke, I think, because I think it's like
that was it. That was it. I remember the Coke commercial on one of the VHSs, and I watched it many times as a kid. Loved it. Always wanted Batman stuff. Couldn't find a lot of it as a kid. Never had. I think the only merch I ever had from Batman movies is the McDonald's stuff. I don't think I have anything else like from the movies, but I always wish I had. But no, as a kid, watching it upstairs in my room, in a dark room, loving Batman, doing Batman things, loving the Batmobile, loving Alfred, thinking, oh my gosh, this is so much better than the cheesy, goofy Adam West stuff. Because as a kid, and I say that with a caveat, I love Adam West stuff, but as a kid, you don't quite, at least I didn't understand that was really a Batman parody. It wasn't serious Batman. It was just jokey Batman.
But it was more Batman of the time, almost, though.
It was.
Sort of.
It's
Yeah.
very 60s. It's very
Yes.
campy 60s.
Mhm.
And so I liked it, but it was always like, loved,
Mhm.
Batman was my jam as a kid. What about you?
Let's see. Like the first Batman I got into was Adam West Batman for sure. It was on one of
Yeah.
those gray VHS tapes that had like 3 movies that my mom taped.
Mm.
So like it was like Batman, Adam West, and like Winnie the Pooh. It was something like that. It was like on the same VHS.
Yeah.
So I grew up with that first, and I think I saw Batman and Batman Forever. I don't know. Well, not Batman Forever. Batman Returns. Between like ages 3 and probably 5, because I think by the time I was like 4 or 5, it was Batman Forever. But I think I watched it at my aunt's house because my aunt had all these VHSs, and we would play with the VHSs and make towers or whatnot.
Yeah.
And none of them had their cases. So like I don't know which one I watched first, because as a kid, it's like that stupid thing as a kid where you blend the movies together and you don't know which one is what.
Yes.
Because like these grant, like even though they're like as an adult they're completely different, but as a kid I thought they were so similar. It almost seems like they pick up right after the next one. It's almost sort of like a Back to the Future Part 1, Part 2 thing, where it's like they blended in my head, where it's like which one is which adventure, because they blend right in. But I think that's when it started, and then like Batman Forever was more so me, but like as a youngster, I think I did see these back then. But like when I got older, I started learning to appreciate the Batman and Batman Returns. I think it was like 2013 when I got the Blu-rays. And I think for like a whole month, I watched like Batman '89 because I was just like obsessed. I was obsessed with Batman '89 and how good it was, because it was like a reawakening to the series. I was like, oh my God, I love these movies. And of course, I've shown it several times on my streams. But like the Batman Return suit is like my all-time favorite suit.
Mine too.
Yep. So like when I got my job and my first paycheck, it's like, I'm getting this.
Yes.
So I love Batman Returns as well. So yeah, that's how I got into it.
Yeah. I love it. I remember I never confused the two, mainly because we'll get to it much later, but Batman Returns was a very different kind of movie, and I think it scared a lot of conservative parents.
Absolutely. I know I was going to save it until we get to later, but I'll just talk about it now. Like, you could tell that Warner Brothers was like blind. They're like, okay, you made the biggest movie of all time. We want you back.
Yeah.
What do we need to do to get you back? Yep. Oh, like we'll give you all the creative control. We will not stop anything, because absolutely nobody was telling Burton what to do, because there's shit. Oh, sorry, I don't want to swear too much in the beginning already. YouTube's still watching, but there's no way Warner Brothers was telling them what to do in this movie, just because like there's 3 examples. I'll listen now. I was going to wait till later, but we're talking about both of them. We'll just come back and forth.
Sure.
I had to write them down before I forget. So the first one is like, my nose could be gushing blood, and like he bites into the nose, unhinged. And then later in the movie, there's the girl with like the big breasts. He says, "You're the hottest role model I could ever have," and he just like gropes her. And I was like, "There's no way Warner Brothers, like if they were on set or like keeping an eye on them, no way they would allow that." And then like the other like it's not as crazy, but it's still crazy at the end when Penguin dies and all the penguins literally carry him like it's a funeral. And I'm like, there is no way Warner Brothers would be okay with this. So I think they just totally let the dog. It's almost like the Tyrannosaurus Rex in San Diego in Lost World. They opened the goddamn thing up and just let it loose. Oh my God, but I love it. I love it. Hello.
Yeah, so
greetings and salutations. Hello.
Hello, V. Hello, V.
But yeah, so what are your
Oh yeah, I was gonna because it was so violent, and obviously Catwoman was so
S&M
hot.
Yes.
What I picture in my mind, I think back to like 80s families watching it. I think of like the conservative wife staring at her conservative husband the whole time. Catwoman's on the screen, being like, "You better not like her," That intimidation factor, I think, was probably pretty ripe in the conservative air.
Absolutely, yeah.
But yeah, I think all of it, the violence, the sexuality of it, I was not allowed to watch it. It was hard. That was hard to get my hands on as a kid.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, but you're absolutely right, because it just popped in my head now. The other that's like the batshit insane clip is when like she fights her first mugger in the hall, like the alleyway.
Yes.
And like she kicks his ass, and like she's all sexual, and then she's even like sexual to the girl she just saved, where she's like, "You're looking for a man to save you." I was like, "Oh my god!" And she's like, "I'm Catwoman, hear me roar!" And she just flips away. I was like, "This is like the greatest thing I've ever seen in my whole life."
Oh, love it, love it.
But let's get back to Batman 89. So as I was watching it for this watch, there's two things I really like. I love the intro when you're flying through the logo. You don't know what the hell you think it's like the Batcave or something, and then it pulls out and it's the logo. And that to me is like a Jones genius or something. It's almost like setting the tone. Like, is it mystery? You're going through it, like, and then it's slowly revealed. Like, boom.
And you know what's funny? It's obviously Danny Elfman.
Yes.
And they do the exact same thing with Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Where they go through the web, and then when you get to the end of the opening credits, they pan back, and it's the web that's in the corner of an alleyway, and then Peter Parker does the voiceover. So they kind of do the same. It's weird that.
And X-Men, don't they go inside someone's blood and it's like it shows all the DNA?
They do some like weird goopy stuff with X-Men, but Spider-Man and Batman
and
have
Hulk.
very, very long intros. Hulk as well, yes. They have very long intros.
Batman influenced everybody.
Yes. Well, Danny Elfman. It's Danny Elfman, isn't it? Every damn time.
Every single time. Yes.
Yes. So it's that's what's so interesting to me. It's like you have this Elfman sort. He's like you're
formula.
playing the whole theme. The whole theme is being played at the beginning of the movie. Not half the theme, the whole theme. Because like X-Men, the X-Men themes, which aren't done by him, are over within a minute.
Yeah,
they're pretty quick, but his very slow going through the bat. I like it, but there are times where if there is a scene that I skip when I watch it, it is the opening.
That's fine.
But I do love it though. It is iconic. Yeah, it is great. That's not me.
And it's totally because we were talking about this before the stream. How almost every like Warner Brothers and kind of superheroes until they sort of revamped him with Iron Man and Dark Knight, but like how everyone just leaned on Batman 89 for like 30 years, how it's like the most influential movie into like Warner Brothers as well, where they like me and you were talking about this before the stream, where they will hire a talent and then groom them. They're like, all right, you make our tentpole blockbusters, and then we'll make you do your own movies as well. They did this with Tim Burton. They did this with Christopher Nolan, Zack Snyder. Yeah.
Did they do it with Richard Donner? It was Lethal Weapon WB? It is WB.
Yes, all four of them. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I wonder if they did that with him as well, because they pumped out Superman movies until they were just boring as hell. But I wonder if they did the same thing with him.
I think so, because he would do his little movies, and I think those are probably Warner Brothers as well. The Lady Hawk and Conspiracy Theory. That's definitely Warner Brothers with Mel Gibson.
Yes, that's great. I like
and Maverick. I think is one. Holy shit! Yeah, they get these filmmakers.
There you go.
Oh my god! Yeah, that's so cool. But like
70s into 80s was Richard Donner. 80s into 90s was Tim Burton.
Yeah, and
early 2000s is Nolan.
Yeah. Oh my god, it's totally true. Oh my gosh, and wow. But yeah, like the intro of this Batman 89 is so great because I also like how they play or riff on the death of the Waynes. Like in the beginning, because if you're watching for the first time, you might think that is Bruce Wayne and Thomas and Martha.
You know who else copies that?
Oh God, who else?
The Batman.
Do they?
The opening of The Batman does the exact same thing, where you see someone looking in through a house window and you think it's little Bruce Wayne playing
That's with right. Father. Damn, you're right. I completely forgot about that. Oh my God, you're right.
When we were watching, I was like, hey, this is like the Batman. But I love that. Not the Batman. I do like the Batman, but I love that point that you've made. That opening where it's like, oh, this is gonna be it. They're gonna show it, and then it's not.
Yeah, like don't leave home without it. And then it's like, there is like one batch. Like I'll say, I love this movie as much. This will be praise. So if we ever mention like little blights, they're just little blights. It's like a little sunspot.
I have nitpicks. Yeah. For
sure. But like it's the inner, like the first time you see Batman, he's an animated cartoon when he's like standing there and he turns around. I don't feel like they needed to do that, but I kind of get why they needed to do that. You know what I mean?
I don't know if it was just they couldn't do the shadow right, they couldn't do the cape twirl right, and they just. But the other thing, it's interesting. I feel that Batman and then subsequently Batman Returns are, and this is going to sound weird, but they are the most, I think they are the most comic book movie ever. Maybe the only thing that rivals it is probably Watchmen, because it really, really feels like panels of a comic coming to life. Like, not a specific Batman story, but just everything is so, it's so, because Tim Burton is so heightened in his design.
Yeah.
None of it feels even remotely real. Where you watch X-Men, Marvel, other DC, like even old Superman, that all is quite gritty and real world stuff. Whereas nothing is real world. It's all hyper reality.
I would agree, because like there was last night, because I was like, there's a scene in the movie that I was like, oh my god, this is so great, because like this Batman's like F this guy.
Yes.
But when he targets Joker, he misses him, and then someone was complaining that they missed him. Like, oh yeah, they missed him. Like, I was like, well, this whole movie is so heightened and so stylized. Like, the whole introduction to me of Batman in the beginning of the movie is like panels from a comic book. Yep. Every single shot of when he comes in, like he comes in with the wings down, they shoot him, they turn around, and they have that close up of the Batarang, and he swings around, and they even show like the feet hang. Like, all those seem like panels from the damn comic book.
Yes.
Absolutely. Like, I don't like more so than any other superhero movie that I could even think of. Because I like the Phantom, but like that's sort of like an adventure movie, and then like even like Dick Tracy. Yeah. Dick Tracy's sort of close to this. Not really. I sort of. But like I feel like this one is sort of like comic book panels. Like, that's it. That's how it's supposed to look. Yep. Yeah.
Because I mean, thinking about it, you have the Dick Tracys and stuff, but nothing feels, even Sin City, all of those feel like they're trying to be the movie version of it. Whereas Batman, for some reason, to me, just feels like it's not trying to be the movie version of Batman. It's just being the comic book live. I think he nailed it really well with that style and with that opening. The other thing I really love about this, and I like that they subverted it and didn't do what Superman 79 did, or is it 78? Can't remember.
78 for sure. Yep.
While I love Superman 78, the opening, like the first hour, is basically Smallville.
Somebody save me.
But the first hour is basically that, and then we finally get into Superman. I like that this movie just says, you know who the F Batman is. I'm not wasting time with the stupid origin story. You know who he is. Here he is being Batman. And to me, that is one of the reasons why this film remains within the top, with it's on the Mount Rushmore of great comic book movies.
Oh yeah.
Batman's face is there.
Yes, Keaton Batman specifically.
Keaton's Batman is there. Yeah.
Keaton, yes. Speaking of Keaton, I was shocked because I didn't watch these before Flash, but these are after Flash.
Yes,
I am shocked at how consistent he was after 40 goddamn years. Because I was watching this, I was like, holy God, like that is him. That is him now.
Yeah.
I was shocked how consistent that, like, he had that in his back pocket. I don't know how, but like, I got to talk about this, Luke. We got to talk about it.
Talk about it. Back to the Flash.
So Batman 89 has got to be the best introduction to Bruce Wayne. Has to be.
Yes.
I was watching it this time. I'm like, oh my God. Like, whenever we're introduced to Bruce Wayne, it's usually so boring, because I think Batman Forever, it's like he's just like businessman. And then like same thing with that Batman and Robin. I think he's just he's just at some party.
Yes.
Oh, this one's at a party, but this one's even better because, like, your introduction to the world is through the journalists, and like it's slowly peeling back layers until you get to Batman. Because Batman, the thing I like about Burton, and he even says it in behind the scenes, I was like, yes, you absolutely nailed it. But like he's like, he wants to keep Batman a secret, because like you don't unveil Batman, because Batman, you don't know him, you don't know what's going on in there, but you have to you learn about the world around him. And I feel like both these movies do that very well.
And it's what was interesting as I was watching it. I found a really interesting reference, whether it was intentional or unintentional. I think there must be some intention behind this, but that intro of Bruce Wayne, of Knox and Vicky Vale walking through the place, and everyone's talking about Bruce Wayne, and stuff like that. But also, I'll get to that one second. The other interesting bit is like we have the main opening where there's Harvey Dent talking, and there's that long table, and Bruce is missing from the table.
Yes.
So Bruce is a mysterious figure.
Yes.
that people don't know a lot about. Then they go to the house, and like Knox doesn't even know what the guy looks like.
Right. They don't even, and they're reporters.
Yes.
And they lived in Gotham their whole life, and they still don't know what Bruce Wayne looks like.
And that whole intro, when he finally introduces himself, I'm like, oh my god, this is the Batman meets the Great Gatsby.
Yes.
Bruce Wayne is Jay Gatsby, who is this mysterious figure that no one really knows. He doesn't attend his parties. No one really knows. It's all these people that are like, oh well, yeah, Bruce's house. Oh, who is he? I don't know. He's some. I don't know. I'm like, this is absolutely, this is how Nick Carraway meets Gatsby.
Yes.
I'm like, oh my god, whether it's intentional or not, I'm like, that is a Gatsby reference that I thought was quite.
It's gotta be.
I liked it, but I loved it when he's like, "Oh, I know it because I bought it."
Yeah,
he's talking about the statue. And he's like,
Japan.
"Oh, yeah,
Yes,
love that."
Oh my god! And even like when like, are you like, do you know who Bruce Wayne is? And like, I'm not sure. And it's almost like he's talking about himself.
Yes,
because there's a similar line in Batman Returns. It's a little on the nose, but I loved it. But he says, "Oh yeah, I'm sorry, I mistook myself," or something like that.
Yes.
But I'm like, that's so great because he doesn't like, he thinks he's more Batman than you call it, Bruce Wayne, and he's so in that, and it's much better done in this than I feel like in. I know we both love the Batman. For some reason, we both love that movie, but like I remember in the Batman where he's more Batman than Bruce Wayne in that. I feel like this one sort of does that better. It's almost like if they do make Batman 2, Robert Pattinson should be more like Keaton in this.
Yes, what they did so right with 89, and that continued into Returns, I feel, is that Bruce Wayne is
Batman.
He is Batman, but Bruce Wayne is also a mysterious figure.
Yes,
and I think that's what was missing with the other movies. Like, oh, we're gonna lean into the playboyness. That's his public image, so people don't think he's Batman. I'm like, you know what? There's probably a bunch of billionaires out there that I don't know who the hell they are, and if they were a vigilante, I wouldn't know.
Mm-hmm.
So if he's a reclusive billionaire, that actually is just as plausible as if he's an annoying playboy who's out all the time doing stuff. So I agree. I hope that for number 2 they would lean into that kind of Batman or Bruce Wayne, because there's no need to fight the duality, because they just are.
Yes, and Batman. What I like about Tim Burton's one is that Vicky sort of Vicky Vale sort of throws off the balance, where it's like, oh geez, could I have a life outside the cave? Could this work? Could I let somebody else into my life? Because it's like for the first time he's felt like that. And then like in the next one, it's sort of like, boom, no, he's Batman, because all he's doing is just like waiting. He's like, I'm just waiting. That's what I love.
I think Phil, because Phil and I watched together, he was like, what do you think about the bat signal thing, shooting down the thing? I'm like, it makes perfect sense, because that's probably Bruce's secluded room. If he's having a party, no one is coming in that room.
Right.
That room is bolted shut. No one is coming in. That is a sign that will flash, that only can be seen from an awkward angle. No one's going to see it come into the house. I bought it. I know people make fun of it. Like, no, I totally buy it. Not only does it make for an awesome shot when he stands up with the bat sign behind him, but I'm like, I buy it because he's a weird recluse.
Yes, absolutely. And like you said, I do believe he has that room in the house where he just sits, because I should say this, or another favorite Batman movie. I think that's another one of my first Batman experiences before this. It was Mask of the Phantasm.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Where there's that party room, and then like the girl throws wine at him, sort of revealing the inner darkness, and he goes into the seclusion room, and there's the Waynes, and that's the room where he like writes his idea to draw the costume up. So that's his seclusion room. And so I 100% agree with you.
Yeah.
This is perfect. This is great.
Loved it. I loved it.
But yeah, like Keaton is so on the nose with this movie as Bruce Wayne, and like the introduction of like, I'm not sure. And he's just like, mingling and then following them, because they're trying to get inside Michael Keaton, but he's already there. He's on their tail. Because that's what Batman would do. He would be on somebody who's trying to spy around his house.
Yes.
God, it's so good.
The thing is, the only thing that maybe is a little bit cheesy is that I think he's only really following them because he has the hots for Vicky Vale. He's hey, she's hot. Let's see what's going on.
Let's go this way. Yep. And then I do believe he gives Knox a grant. I believe that in my heart.
give Knox a grant.
Because Knox never shows up in the next ones because he's got that grant.
You know what? What do you think of the character of Knox?
I feel like he's missed. I feel like they should have brought him back. Honestly, that's my opinion.
Because there is a reporter in Batman Returns who I'm kind of like, well, that could be Knox, but I also felt like Knox in Batman '89. Some of my weaker points, not my weaker points, but some of the points that are weak for me within Batman '89 are centered around Knox and Vicky Vale. Knox, I just felt he doesn't really do much. He says some good lines, but I'm also sort of like, if we remove Knox from the movie, does the plot really change? And I'm kind of thinking, no. The only thing that he does that's important is he tells Vicky about Bruce's family. But that's the only thing that really Vicky should have done herself as a reporter herself. I know she's a photographer, but it would have been nice for Vicky to have been the one to have dug up Bruce's stuff, not just take some pictures of him and say, Knox, figure this out for me. And then he just spoon feeds her why Bruce is.
I think Knox's role in the movie is sort of exposition man, but through, so it doesn't feel like exposition. It just feels like you're watching the movie. Because like what he does, he introduces the world of Batman.
Yes.
Because when they're introducing like, it's a giant bat.
Yes.
Knox is there. He has his theory about the bat. Yep.
Yes.
And then he's also talking about a little bit about Jack Napier. He knows a little bit about that. He sort of explains that. So it's not like explained like, oh my God, we have to do this whole scene. Because by the time we get to Jack Napier, I feel like we already know. Because I think Knox does talk about him, or it's hinted at, or something like that.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I feel like that's his role, even though like you say you could take him out. I kind of feel like you need him in there just so it's entertaining as you get this information.
Yeah. Do you think they could have amalgamated Knox and
Vicky? Oh, yeah, could be, but I feel like they really wanted it because Vicky seems so like fresh, like a fish out of water, and they wanted to make her because the thing. Okay, so there's a producer on this movie who was like into comic books. He was the first one who started a college course on comic books. I feel like he followed the rules that they started in the 70s. Because there was like 5 rules they made for Batman. Like Batman has to be serious. His love interest has to be on the same level as Batman. Yeah. And I feel like that second rule out of like the 5, because there's like 3 other ones I don't remember. I think one of them is like Joker has to be crazy and everything has to be taken seriously or whatever. But like the love interest has to be on the same level as Batman is because she's like a war photojournalist. And I feel like you need to have her come out from wherever she is. She travels the world and she's coming to Gotham because she's interested in hearing the story. So I feel like you need her to go there. It's to be on the same level because I feel like if she's grown there, she would probably be like, kind of scared and kind of mousy, sort of like a Selena Kyle. So she needs to be like world traveling, sort of getting these different experiences. I would say.
I guess if she was the reporter, she'd end up being like a Lois Lane, and they don't want to mimic that Lois Lane. But I just felt there was also something missing with Vale. She didn't. She doesn't really.
Her one thing is this, the whole movie.
Yes, and I'm like, you're just. She was a bit shallow for me as a character.
A little bit. Yeah. But I think it's just because they had somebody else in mind, which I can't. Like I like when I learned this news about
know that.
Yeah, Sean Young was supposed to be Selena. Oh, not Selena. She was going to be Vicky Vale. Vicky Vale.
Her name was Rachel.
Rachel. She was going to be on my live stream, Alfred. Oh my God! Okay, I mucked myself up with that. Oh my God! I gotta regroup. That was too good. So anyway, oh my God, what was my thought? That was so good. It threw me up.
Sorry.
It made me think of somebody else.
Vicky Vale, Rachel, Sean Young.
Yeah, that's right. Sean Young. Sean Young was supposed to be Vicky Vale, and she had a tragic thing where she freaking fell off her horse.
Yes.
Like a week before filming, so they brought in Kim Basinger like last minute. So I wonder if that had to do with it had something to do with it. Maybe they had more planned with her as well.
Yes, I mean, because that's the thing, that scene in of itself. When I read about that, I was like, wait a minute, so they have this like unicorn, not unicorn. That's Blade Runner. They have a horse. They have a horse scene where they're riding some horses, and then it's going to lead to Batman riding a horse later in the movie. That's fucking awesome. I want to see Batman Keaton riding a horse in the movie.
That's the one thing I want to see in a Batman movie, and it hasn't happened yet. Where I want to see Batman riding a horse.
Yeah,
they got to do that in the what do you call it, Robert Pattinson one. Hopefully.
Yeah,
I'd be cool with that.
Yeah, so I do wonder what was changed or cut for whatever reason. But yeah, I think all she needed to do was just be a little bit more proactive, because she's only reacting. She's always reacting to Batman or Bruce or the Joker. Mm-hmm. If she was just a little bit more proactive throughout, I would like her much more, and maybe I would buy Bruce's interest, not love. I don't believe they were in love. I think that's like that was movie love, and I didn't like that. Like, I love you. Do you? I'm doing, you know me for 3 minutes.
No, I think he has like a crush. He sees like potential there.
Yes.
He has feelings he's never had before. He sees potential, because I have that feeling with that one scene where he's like, "Look, shut up. I got something to tell you." Because that's him, because he doesn't know how to deal with his emotions.
Yes.
And he's trying to talk about him, and she's not listening, and he's just like, "Hey, just shut up for a second."
I wonder. I love that scene, but I also wonder, as we were watching Batman Returns, literally right after, I wonder if they didn't bring I don't know. There's probably an explanation as to why they didn't bring her back. Maybe she didn't want to come back. I don't know. Mm-hmm. But I'm wondering if they didn't want to do it because they were bringing Catwoman back.
I think so.
Catwoman in, but also Michelle Pfeiffer and Michael Keaton have way, way, way hotter chemistry.
It wasn't supposed to be Michelle Pfeiffer. She also was a last minute replacement.
I didn't know that. Who was the lucky lady number one? Or
it was supposed to be. Oh crap! It just slipped my mind. It's the like she's like older. Oh my god! I gotta look it up. She's in the freaking Tim Burton movie. What do you call it? Not Galaxy Quest. Mars Attacks. Give me a second. Oh my gosh! Yes, Mars Attacks. Annette Bening, I think. Right? Is that her name?
Is it?
I think Annette Bening. I gotta look it up. Yes, Annette Bening. Yes, absolutely. Yep. It was supposed to be Annette Bening. That's
Phil in the chat says, "I told you this, Luke." Yeah, we watched Batman a long time ago. I've had many sleepless nights since then. If I'm a little rusty, that's my excuse.
Because Annette Bening was supposed to be Catwoman, but like a week before filming, she calls up Tim Burton and says, "I'm pregnant." So they had to find somebody else, and it was Michelle Pfeiffer.
Okay.
So they really lucked up with that Michelle Pfeiffer performance, because that's crazy that she's so good in this. And they were talking, like Keaton was talking about behind the scenes and how like they felt like fish out of water. He was just laughing at them.
Yes. Phil in the chat just reminded me. Yes, I remember this now. You mentioned Sean Young because she also wanted to be Catwoman.
Yes.
He was going around telling people she was going to be Catwoman.
Yes, and she showed up dressed up. She showed up dressed as Catwoman because there wasn't much security back then. She showed up on set, or not on set, but on the studio lot. Yeah. As they're having a meeting about Man dressed as Catwoman. Yeah. And like they're like, whoa, but they did not want her. Then I think that sort of killed her career because she did that. No, it did. Yeah. It did, because it slowed it down. It slowed it down a lot after that. Yeah. But it was that story that slowly spread through the whole thing. But like, there were so many actresses, even with Batman Forever. I get that wasn't supposed to be Nicole Kidman. It was supposed to be Renee Russo.
Oh, I didn't know that either. Yeah,
so like all these women keep getting replaced by a last minute replacement.
It's like the Batman curse.
Yes. But let's see what else we like. So okay, we talked about the introduction scene. Oh yeah, let's talk about Jack. Oh, go ahead. What are you gonna say?
What I was gonna say as well is the other thing that was so refreshing about Batman '89 is that within the first 10 minutes, and then we can talk about other things. But the first 10 minutes,
the intro's so good though. That's why
it is. The first 10 minutes of the movie very, very clearly and stylistically establishes that Gotham sucks. It's crime is rampant. It has the Batman theme. Introduces Jack, the crime boss. That Harvey is trying to do good, and that Bruce is absent. It just hits everything so well, and I think continues to hit those beats really, really well throughout the rest of the movie. I think it continues to chug along at a good pace.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And like towards the end, like I'll mention it now just because we'll get to it, but like towards the end, it does sort of become a little too goofy. And I'll say this because I remember I saw this movie on the big screen in LA when I was there with my mom. It was like near Christmas or whatever.
Yeah.
And I hadn't seen it for a long time at that point. So when I was watching on the big screen, I'm like, oh, this is amazing. And then when they get to the bell tower, all these henchmen show out of nowhere. I'm like, where the hell did they come from?
Yes. Yes.
But that's where it sort of slowly gets into like a little cartoony. But until then, the movie's pretty solid for the most part.
Yes. I have there are two moments in Batman 89 that pull me out quite a lot. Maybe three, depending on how I count this. But one is the dinner scene with the Joker.
Okay.
And what pulls me out is I don't mind the defacing of the art, all that kind of stuff. It gets a little cartoony, but what really kills it for me is that effing Prince song. I hate the Prince song because I'm just like, this doesn't belong in this movie. This doesn't belong in this world. This just doesn't belong. This guy with the boombox playing a Prince, it just doesn't belong. And I also don't like when they do the other Prince song at the end during the big fair, during the big parade. Yes, it gets a little. I don't mind Jack Nicholson doing his thing.
Yeah,
but it's the Prince music that just, it's so jarring with the world that Burton has created that you could have come up with like Gotham pop, like something that was poppy but gothicy and weird and scary but catchy. You could have done something rather than just a shitty Prince song.
This is again back then. This is like that John Peters.
Yes.
You know, you and me, we're from the streets where he wanted Prince in the movie.
Yes.
And like that totally is a John Peters thing. Absolutely. Yes. You have like no doubt in my mind that is totally John Peters. Like, we gotta have action. And like there's a scene in this movie where I could totally see like John Peters saying, like, fuck Indiana Jones. We're gonna have Batman kick this guy's ass with the swords, because that's sort of his Indiana Jones moment.
Yes.
Oh my god. And then like we gotta have Prince. We're gonna have like the soundtrack of the movie. We gotta do this. Because I love Purple Rain. Purple Rain is great. We gotta have Prince in this movie. And I know you don't like it, but like to me, like when I was doing all those, and like to me, it's so like it's almost like Jack Nicholson and Prince, like they're like peas and carrots to me. Yes, it somehow works. And what's your third thing?
The third thing would be the guys in the bell tower. Where the hell do they come from? Yeah, it's all kind of wrapped up in that final act, final scene. But it's those bits are the ones that sort of annoy me. That I think the film and again, there is no dumbass music like that found in Batman Returns.
No, the close again though. I think we mentioned it off stream. I don't know if we've mentioned this off stream because I think we talked about it for like 5-10 minutes off stream. But like nobody at Warner Brothers was on set for Batman Returns. Nobody.
Tim Burton, like, John Peters, go away.
I don't even think John Peters was in the second one.
Well, he might not have been.
No, I don't think so. Because I think Warner Bros. Was like, how do we get you back? And I think one of Tim Burton's things is probably like, no John Peters, and you let me have full creative control. And they're like, yes, do it. Because I think what happened too, Luke, I don't know if they don't fully mention it, but it's hinted at heavily. But I think John Peters sort of bullied Tim Burton. And then because like they keep talking about like producers who kept pushing ideas or whatever, and I'm like, oh, that's got to be John Peters. And because Jack Nicholson sounds like he fought for frickin' Burton, behind the scenes, because he was so impressed with Burton because he saw him as like this mid-20-year-old kid helming this the biggest movie at the time.
Yeah,
but like no problem. Like he had no issues. He wasn't nervous like Tim Burton. I don't know how, but apparently he was like not nervous and just like handling everything well. And Nicholson respected that so much that he went to bat for him. I think Nicholson even said like, if anyone messes with you, Burton, just tell them, tell me, and I'll tell them.
And I'll beat the shit out of them. Yeah. The only thing I can find quickly on IMDb is that Peters left to start Peters Entertainment, which has produced blockbusters like Batman Returns. So I guess he was somewhat involved. Yeah,
they must have just had him in a different room. Like, you don't come to set. Yeah. Something like that, because like Burton
you got your Prince moment. Shut up.
Burton had full goddamn control with Batman Returns, and we'll get to that, which we'll get to.
Yes.
But the question I wanted to ask you, because we're still in the beginning, of the Batman 89 because it's so good and there's so much to talk about. But like, what are your thoughts on the Jack Napier / Joker introduction?
Yeah, I think I like it. I mean, it's never bothered me. It's again, it's at this point in time. The thing it's interesting about Batman, and I think another reason why I love X-Men is
we got to finish it off. Star Trek.
Star Trek is
we
because,
mentioned everything.
is because 89 isn't trying to adapt the comic verbatim.
No, it's taking inspiration for sure.
Yes, and I love that about the X. When people are like, oh, but the X-Men movies are like your comics. There's all these fucking stupid ass Marvel fans who need it spoon fed to them because they can't just go read the books anymore. It's like, come on. Like the Watchmen is great and all, but like not every Marvel comic is the Watchmen, so we don't need it panel for panel recreation. Take the ideas, do something fun with it. And that's what I love. This is back in that time frame where superhero movies still did a lot of that, and you didn't have to follow so religiously the lore. And I really like it. I really like it.
Because this is sort of related to our other we need to talk about. We were talking about the Hulk, and the Hulk's the same way, where you get this creative vision.
Yes.
And they bring that vision to a character, and I feel like we need to get back to that. We need to get back to the roots of those kind of movies.
Yes, and again, if we're going to start accepting multiverse, then like, look, anything can happen. This is just a version of the story. It doesn't have to be the version of the story. Just enjoy the story. If it's good, it's good. Yeah,
and so they sort of kind of did that by doing it with the Joker and the Batman. I think those two movies, they're sort of getting back to like, okay, well, does you have your creative vision and just bring this character to life? And I feel like they should stick with that.
I think so.
Because that sort of goes with, I'll even include Patty Jenkins with her Wonder Woman.
Yes,
because that is her vision of Wonder Woman, and to me, like they're both consistent to her vision, like the original one. And I know people don't like 89. What's it called? Batman 84.
Batman 84.
Oh my god. Wonder Woman 84. One of her 84. Because even that is sort of like that's sort of her like homage to like Superman 3.
Batman like 84. But damn it,
you said so.
Even I did it. Wonder Woman 84. Is her Batman Returns, except she stumbled and fell badly. She scraped her knees, she scraped her face, her elbows are bloody. That was Tim Burton's sword.
It's her Batman Returns, but it's like doing a freaking Richard Lester like Superman 3. That's what's crazy about it. Yes, it's so crazy. Like, it's exactly Superman 3.
Yes.
I was like, oh my god. Like if you were to put like if freaking Christopher Reeve showed up in that universe, I wouldn't be surprised because it's that same tone. Absolutely,
I agree. I totally agree. Yeah, no, the Jack Napier stuff didn't bother me. It's always funny that his name is Jack and it's Jack Nicholson, and he's also Jack in
The Shining
and oh yeah, shit, and that crap. Yeah, he's like, oh, why is Jack Nicholson always Jack in his movies? Is he just Jack?
I think that's it, because like Jack is such like again, you were talking like Mount Rushmore. I feel like he's like on the Mount Rushmore of like iconic actors. I think he'd be up there. He would have to be. It would be like his shining face on the Mount Rushmore.
Yes, he did a great job. He did a great job doing the Cesar Romero, because that's Joker from from Adam West, isn't it?
Yeah, 66.
Yes. Yeah. He did a great job taking bits of that performance.
For sure. I saw more of that. Yeah.
Yes. Wrapping it up with elements of the comic, but then just doing his own, but then making it his own version. Like you could see the homages here and there.
Yes.
He wasn't a pure pastiche of, but he was like this wonderful amalgamation of, I'm going to take these ideas. I'm going to sort of like replenish this character by taking these bits and making it my version of it. And I think that was then further replicated, maybe not to the same extent, but a decent extent with the Dark Knight. Heath Ledger's performance was a good performance.
That's good.
That's
good. Yeah. With Nicholson, I feel like he's like playing on all levels, and like he's definitely referencing like everything. He's bringing all the tools in his toolbox. Because when I was watching it this time, I definitely felt more Cesar Romero. Like, what if Cesar Romero was dark?
Yeah.
And that comes in. And then there's like parts, because like at the time I think they were all inspired by The Dark Knight Returns. So I feel like all his stuff like on the TV and like him in the black and white suit, like I was there. I saw it all. I was there with the pen. And like all that stuff sort of feels like that's inspired from him like reading that book, like, okay, this is interesting. I'm gonna take some of this and put it into the role as well.
Yes. So
and,
go on.
Go ahead.
Okay, unless you have more thought, just tell me, because I was gonna slightly different question, but it's about the Joker. As a kid, because I didn't realize this. This is me being dumb. As a kid, there's a scene where he meets Vicky Vale, and he looks like a human, kind of.
Yes.
He's got normal human flesh tone skin, his normal skin tone.
Yeah.
And then he starts to rub his face, and there's white makeup underneath it. As a kid, I never really understood which was his real skin or which wasn't. I didn't quite realize that the chemicals change the pigment of his skin.
Yes.
And I wonder if the reason for that is, for me, was because I remember my parents always making fun of Cesar Romero because he wouldn't shave his mustache.
Yeah.
And in the Batman 66 show, so they would have to put makeup over his mustache. So I just always knew the Joker as a guy wearing white makeup.
Yeah.
And so what did you just know that, or is that just me being dumb? But like, what? Yeah.
As a kid, I think I don't think I watched this one enough as a kid. I think I watched Returns more as a kid. But like as a kid, I think I just knew that it was like his makeup falling off. But at rewatching it, I do feel like it's a studio note to play it safe. Like, hey, we hired Jack Nicholson. We got to have him look like Jack Nicholson in a few scenes.
Yes.
It definitely feels like a studio note at that time.
Yes. Because actually thinking about it, do you think, could the movie have been absolutely fine if he was just already in charge of the mob? Did he need to off the boss?
I think so, because it just shows how funny the henchmen are. Because like I love Bob. I love how loyal Bob is. So loyal, and his henchmen are so loyal that they're wearing gear that have like Joker logos on there, and they drive purple and green cars.
Yes.
I love that. I love that they all like, all right, we're working for him now. Whatever. F it. And that like Bob looks so miserable. Like he looked miserable before, he looked miserable again. Because there's a shot I never noticed it before this rewatch. But like Nicholson's like, I'm an artist and I want to be on the one. In the background, you see Bob, and Bob's just like just so depressed. Like he's like, I don't want to be around anymore. Yeah, I love that guy though.
And then he's taken out. Shot.
Joker
shoots him.
He shoots him just because he stole my balloons. How come nobody told me he had one of those things?
What was Alfred was interesting. Watching these consecutively, 1 and 2, or
Alfred changes for sure from the both.
He does. What I like Alfred more in Batman Returns.
Yes, because he's working with him. In Batman 89, he's like, I'll play along. You do this Batman thing and I'll play along, but I want you to get the hell out of here. I'm going to bring Vicky Vale to the Batcave. Like, I want you to have a life outside this cave. Because in Batman Returns, I did tweet about this, but in Batman Returns, he's like, girl, we got to get this penguin guy. Like, it's full, like, 180. Like, he's like, because like the whole time he's like, maybe this penguin guy's okay. But like at the end, he's like, girl, we need to get this penguin guy. Yeah. Because they're just both standing there watching the TV. It just kills me. It's like, oh my God, he's like completely changed, 180.
Yes. I do. I liked him way more in Returns. I thought, okay, he's finally
more fun.
He's more fun. He's helping Batman. He's more involved with the story. Yes. That was the thing. I think I love 89, and I love Batman Returns. I don't want to like pit the two against each other, and I say which one do I like more than the other. I don't know. I like them both for different reasons, but I do think that they learned many things from Batman 89 that they then improved. Oh my God, is that him? Do you have a figure? I didn't know they did a figure of him.
Yeah, they did it for Mattel. Mattel had when they had the license. Hang on.
Come on, focus.
Hang on, focus. Hang on, get my face out there. Maybe that's why.
Not yet.
3 inches. Hang on.
That's his chest. Not yet. It's focusing on your WB more than him.
I don't know how. Oh my gosh.
Pull it back.
So close. So close. Oh, hang on, get my face out of there. There we go.
Okay, there we go.
He's focused now. right there.
You know, I would love. I need to get a figure of that. I don't, but I do. I don't.
He
But I
came with
do.
3 different heads. He came with like the comic book head. He came with the Batman 89 head, and then he came with the head from 66. So you could have any Alfred.
Oh, that's cool. That's stinking cool. I need to see if I can find that somewhere.
It's probably the best figure they did before they lost the license.
Yeah. So I love that. That's the other thing. I think that they learned bits from 89, and or maybe it's just that Burton could just do whatever he wanted. But I just thought Alfred has way more agency in this. Mm-hmm. The love interest storyline between Catwoman and Batman is freaking on fire. Versus what it is with him and Vale.
Because like the minute he sees her, even in his bat suit, he gets distracted by her, and he just has to go.
Yes, I know. It's like it's like you need to slap yourself when you see her. So and also again, there's no cheesy pop music, and I feel like these are things like I felt like they must have learned and thought those were bits that didn't work very well. We're gonna make those bits work better here. Mm-hmm. But I fully admit that Batman Returns is an unhinged movie. It's
unhinged, and
oh my god, insane. It's insane, but
it's insane. It's insane. Oh my god, that is definitely like they just gave him the keys to the car and said, "Just bring it back in one piece," and it came back and it had like trees and the doors missing and my god, unhinged.
Yes. Interesting about Batman is that the Batmobile doesn't show up until about halfway through the movie.
Yes. Oh, hang on. We have a note from Phil. He says, "Guys, back to Batman 89."
Phil.
All right, let's do this for Phil. Let's do this for Phil. We'll go back to Batman 89.
Okay. Well, I literally just mentioned that the Batmobile doesn't turn up until halfway through the movie, which it's quite restrained.
Yes, absolutely, because it's a good reveal. I like with this movie. There's a reveal to everything.
Yeah.
It's like there's a reveal to Batman, there's a reveal to the Batmobile, there's a reveal to the freaking Batcave.
Yeah.
And then at the end, I was tweeting about this as I was rewatching, but like I can only imagine what the audience reaction would be when that freaking Batwing shows up.
Right.
The audience must have erupted like, whoa! Because I was watching, I was just like, that is so cool. Yes. Oh my gosh.
Yes. I loved all of their reveals. I remember as a kid just loving all of that. Like I loved the Batmobile. Like I loved that thing. Mm-hmm. But then at the end of the movie before he flies the plane, I'm like, that is just awesome. Everything about it was awesome. And I don't think any other subsequent Batman movie has nailed the awesomeness of the Batjet in 89. No. Or it's sort of.
Although I did kind of like, I know you don't like the movie, but in Flash, I thought that was so cool how the thing rotated as he's flying it.
Well,
that was cool.
Flash, I'll give us a sort of pass because it is meant to be 80. It's meant to be some version of that.
A version of the 89, yeah.
Yeah, and so it's kind of like it's basically the same thing. So it's still cool because it's that. Whereas like we see it in Returns, we see that weirdo bat plane in The Dark Knight that just doesn't look.
Oh yeah,
just looks like garbage. It was ridiculous. But yeah, no, the reveals for everything are perfect. The bat suit reveals, just Batman's reveal, everything. Jack Nicholson's say again.
But you finish your thought. But I was going to say, can we talk about Batman? We haven't even talked about Batman yet. I think
let's talk about Batman.
Bruce Wayne.
Let's talk about Batman.
Finish your thought.
I was like, and also like the Joker's reveal. Like everyone remembers mirror.
That's straight out of comic books too. Oh my god.
Oh yeah. He's almost like that. Very very much reminded me of the Invisible Man. When the Invisible Man is in the strips and he's going crazy, he's that was very much to me. It's like this
Universal monsters for sure.
Yes,
absolutely.
Yes, I love it.
Oh my god! But yeah, we talked a lot about Bruce Wayne. Let's talk about Batman because like there's his introduction when he comes through the glass ceiling, and then you think he's going to shoot Joker, and then he's got that gadget, and he's like, "Hang on!" And like everything about what Keaton is doing is like on another level. I don't understand. Like I can't fathom it. I don't get it because like there's everything about him is just so cool. Even like how much do you weigh, and then like him like doing all the fighting. There's something cool about his Batman, and like they even do that in Batman Returns because I do, although it's kind of cheesy, I do like his fighting in Batman Returns in the street when he's fighting all the clowns. That is so cool.
I do too. Yes.
And like he's got the eyes. I think that's the thing that Burton knocked out the park. Because he knew he hired the guy who had eyes.
Yes.
And
also,
like, yeah, go ahead.
Carry on.
Oh yeah, but like no other Batman has gotten those eyes. I think the closest we had is Robert Pattinson, because there's like great shots of Robert Pattinson's eyes that are very expressive. Because there's like scenes in the movie where he doesn't talk, but he's saying so much with his eyes, and I feel like controversial. I think he's like the closest we gotten to Keaton in like the last 40 years is freaking Robert Pattinson. Just
he's
how
a good
the performance.
Batman.
Yeah,
he's a good Batman. I hands up. I admit, I bought his figure at somewhere.
Yeah,
I don't know, but I like it.
But yeah,
I was gonna say, a friend of mine, Neil Vag, he went to see an early screening of The Flash that had Michael Keaton was there and did a chat.
Yes,
and all the questions had nothing to do with The Flash and everything to do with '89 Batman.
Of course,
and he made a really interesting point to us, to the audience rather. Keaton did. He was like, "What Tim Burton was doing," and it's funny because The Flash doesn't do this at all. Is that Batman is most of the time always filmed in darkness and in shadow and at strange, slightly off angles.
Yes.
You don't get full on. And like there's moments where like you see him like at like this angle and all you see are the bright whites of his eyes.
Oh, it's so good.
You know, so they did such a good job with the cinematography, making sure that he looked, it's a guy, but he looks strange and creepy because of the way he is angled and just standing there. I love it. That's why it's iconic. That's why nothing has matched it yet, because they took such care to make him look. You get why
mysterious.
People are scared of him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because like it's even more so in Batman Returns. Sorry, Phil. But in Batman Returns, like there's more shadows, more playing with his eyes, more like different angles, more like shots like him like this, or it is so cool. And it's just like it's great.
Yeah. I never noticed it until listening to Keaton say that, and then obviously he said that. So then watching the film this time around, I was like, I can see what he's saying now. Yeah. This is fascinating. That's why everything's a little bit strange. And then you get to like Batman Forever and Batman and Robin and all the others where it's just full on frontal Batman and
full on, exactly.
There's no real great mystery going on there, but
absolutely. Let's see. Let me go to my so I guess we kind of talked about Danny Elfman in the beginning, but my favorite two tracks specifically are Descent into Mystery. Descent into Mystery has like its own moment in the movie, and that's the part when Vicky Vale's in the car and she's trying to look at him. And again, we're talking about shadows and all that.
Oh, yes,
that whole sequence is so good.
Yes,
that is so good. Like, so she's in the passenger
seat. He also turns the light on.
He turns the light on so it blinds her. That's so great to have like that feature in the car because he's planned it, and that music that dun, dun,
yes, that
and like
is...
he's like driving to Burton World as well because like everything's like normal, and then all the trees start turning to like Burton World, like he's going to like the Halloween town or something.
Yes, because you see like Jack Skellington running in the background somewhere.
It's so good. But that music track to that scene, it's so well edited. I don't like whoever edited that sequence. Yeah, like that is like the most like you could show somebody that sequence and like you get the idea like this is Keaton, this is Batman. This is that world.
It also has a bit of a Batman 66 reference towards the end because I always, if you remember, Batman the Batcave comes out. He comes out of a wall and and they do that again here. And I was like, it's like Batman West Batman. I do like that. I like the. Let's say it's like Burton did a really good job of taking little Easter eggs, actual Easter eggs, and bits from 66. And darkening them, and like that's one. And the Joker, I think, is probably the biggest in that it is a dark version of Caesar. But anyway, we're talking about Batman.
Yeah, we're still talking about Batman '89. That specifically. Yeah. Sorry, Phil. We're going to talk about '89. We're still on it.
I agree, though. Those two tracks are the best.
And Finale is my favorite because that's another great sequence. Finale is like, so how do we call him? He gave us the signal. I was like, oh my God, that's like one of the greatest endings.
You know what? Oh, you mentioned that, just reminded me. I like that is another moment where I think the music jars for me. Because it's all like happy, it's all happy music. And I'm like, But then what I loved about the end of Batman Returns is it's a dark, somber ending.
Oh, it's so sad. It's so somber because he literally would quit it all for Selena Kyle. He would give it all up for her.
Yeah.
And then like everywhere he looks, he sees her or hopes to see her. And I get that feeling. I've had that feeling for the last couple months where you hope to see somebody. You haven't seen them. And oh my God, I like that feeling is so captured in that moment at the end of the movie. He's like, stop the car. He gets out the car, picks up the cat, just as that memento. It's just,
and then he's like, Merry Christmas, Mr. Wayne. Merry Christmas, Alfred. And it's like, it's Christmas. It's Christmas. And this is so sad.
Yes. Oh my God. You know, I wish more Batman movies were winter.
You know what? Yeah. I think that's another reason why I might lean towards Returns, because visually I love winter movies in general and Christmas movies. And the fact that this one has that vibe to it just makes it darker and scarier, and like when Christmas is mean and corrupted, like it's interesting. I love it.
Yes.
Lethal Weapon is one of my all-time favorite movies, and it's like, it's a fucking
I love what's that movie called, Krampus. That's great stuff too.
Krampus.
Like, yes. Okay, I like you guys brought up Batman 66, the narrative for so long. Batman 66 ruined Batman and 89 fixed them. You could pay attention. 89 and Returns clearly loves 66. Totally. Absolutely. Because like there's some poses with Michelle Pfeiffer are probably like ripped or lifted from 66.
Probably.
Yeah, because Julia Newmar was always posed sexually in 66. And that, don't look up Julia Newmar. See you. I see you, Luke. Oh my gosh. And then like Cesar Romero is totally a darker version of Nicholson. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, there's some Julie Newmar going on in there.
Yeah, Luke. Oh my God! But yes,
you know who my favorite Catwoman was though.
Oh, let me guess. It's gonna be oh God, what's her name? The girl from Holes. What's her face? Kit.
Eartha Kitt.
Eartha Kitt was yours favorite?
Yeah.
Yes,
I liked Eartha Kitt. The other thing that blows my mind is Eartha fucking Kitt was Batwoman, and like Catwoman, and no one talks about it.
Nobody
like,
talks about it.
It's 1966. You have this gorgeous black lady playing Catwoman on TV, and no one talks about it and gives her credit. Like, she's great.
Yeah, she's great. But there's like five other there's like five or like four Catwoman, right? Because there's the movie, there's Julie Newmar, there's Eartha Kitt, and I think there's somebody else. I'm not sure.
Probably.
I think so. But yeah. Oh, hello, Heartbeat City.
Hello.
Hello once again. Yes, the girl from Holes, huh? That's for Phil.
What about Filler Vision's comment about Batman 3?
Oh, I was going to save that for the end.
Okay, we'll save that for the end.
We'll save it because we got to talk about Returns first. We're barely through 89.
Okay.
We're saving. I read your question, Filler Vision. We'll talk about like what if there was a third Burton film, which is sad. Did you ever see that behind the scenes interview where he's telling the story where he went to talk to about a Batman 3?
No.
And the studio was like, well, how about, you work on, something personal to you. And like half an hour into the discussion about Batman 3, he says, wait a minute, you guys don't want me to do Batman 3, do you? So that's why he's only a producer. But he found out personally through the interview for Batman 3 pitching ideas where he's like, wait a minute, you don't want me to do this. That must be so heartbreaking because he must have really gotten to the groove. Like, man, I love Batman 89, Batman Returns. He must have felt like, yes, I got some ideas. Let's keep going.
Yes.
But then just getting like, oh, wait, you don't want me to do this anymore. That's kind of a bummer.
We'll get to that, but it had to be from the reaction from the movie.
Oh, absolutely.
Let's not jump it. Yeah.
Before we jump it, I want to talk about my favorite clip of all time. I always use how people complain about movies, but they see it more than once. Remember the kid who complains about Batman Returns? It's like, how many times do you see it? Oh, I've seen it twice to get a real good look at it.
Yeah, you're getting a real good look.
I'm getting a real
Pfeiffer, bro.
Yeah,
that's what you're doing.
There's like kids and they get kidnapped, and it's like Attack at Christmas. How many times have you seen it? I've seen it twice to get a real good look at it.
To get a real good look.
Because there's like people out there like complaining about Flash. It's like, how many times have you seen it? I've seen it 3 times just to get a real good look at it. I didn't like it. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
What I felt like with that interview, I felt like there was most of what he was saying was probably
scripted
from his parents.
Yep.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You need to say this because, like I said, conservative Midwest America, we're not happy with how violent and sexy that movie was. Mm-hmm. Didn't want kids to see it. Blah 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 blah. But we'll get them more detail. But I felt like you're saying what your parents have told you to say, and that's why you've seen it twice because you're like, Catwoman is doing something for me, and yeah.
During this rewatch, I noticed a lot of Indiana Jones because like Indiana Jones is fresh on the brain.
Okay.
And now
I watched this before my big indie rewatch. So did you?
Yeah. Yeah, so like there's like stuff in here now because now Indiana Jones is now a reference in my head that I'm going to be using for the rest of my life now. But it's uploaded in here. So like there was one I'm like because like there's a scene with the swords clearly riffing off Raiders.
Yes.
And I love that. And then there's a line: "The pen is truly mightier than the sword." So both in '89 you have Marcus Brody saying the pen is mightier than the sword, and then in this one the pen is mightier than the sword. Not reference.
That could be down to a coincidence, though.
That's a coincidence. That's a coincidence, but still,
it's interesting.
It's interesting. But both came out '89. Both say the pen's mightier than the sword. It blew my mind.
The pen is mightier than the sword.
The pen is truly mightier than the sword. You know what I love about that? As we're on that scene, yes, Phil, we're still talking about Batman '89. I love the scene because Bruce Wayne is so weird.
Yes,
seeing the clowns don't mess with him. Everyone else is looking at the clowns like they're weird, but he's just like, doesn't give them any attention. And then when the shootout happens, he's in Batman mode. And that's another thing I love that I wish was in more movies. Although Robert Pattinson does do it when he saves the boy and jumps.
Yeah, it's not as good, but yes.
Not as good, but still like same ballpark. It's like in the parking lot.
Also, Batman gets clipped.
Yes, that's what I was talking about. Like he
just walks through it.
Yeah. Because he's going to like chase him down, and he forgets like, oh yeah, that's right. I'm not Batman right now. I'm Bruce Wayne. Because he doesn't he's so in that mindset when he looks at Vicky Vale, he almost doesn't recognize her because he's so in that mindset. Oh my god, look! Oh my god, look! Oh my god! Oh my god! I gotta talk about it. I gotta talk about
South Park reference for anyone who knows.
So they did this in Flash, but I love that it's in this movie. But I love that he has like folders everywhere with all this information because he's doing research on the chemicals. He's doing research on Jack Napier, his parents' death. I just love it. He's like, bring me the file on that, and it's so good. I'm like, oh, I love Keaton Batman.
It also that makes way more sense because it's the '80s.
Yes,
like, the file will be an actual file.
But it's so good though because he's actually like doing research. He's like looking into it.
When people say Batman hasn't done any real detective work in any of the movies, I think he's not a detective, but he is doing some detecting in Returns and in '89. It is there. Mm-hmm. I would say far more than it is in stupid Batman and Robin and
for sure.
Even Forever. Yeah. And I mean, let's be real. Christian Bale isn't doing any detecting at all. Sure, he does some ballistics reports, one ballistics test, and that's him doing his like, come on.
Yeah, he doesn't. Like, because he's on the same level as the police. Because all he's doing is listening to the police blotter.
Yes, yeah, and everyone knows that Falcone is the big mobster of the Gotham. Is all it's like, okay, we get it.
Yeah, because he doesn't even know where their secret meetings are, but Joker does. Come on.
Yes.
Anyway, for Phil, we got to get back to Batman '89. As you can see here, he's like, please stay on it. Stay on
it. But Phil, the thing is, I'm gonna spoil this for you, Phil. When we were watching Batman, I liked it. So the thing is, Batman, I love the movie, but it is a movie that tires me out by the end. For some reason, I don't know why. I'm tired by the end of it every time I watch it. I think there's just a few moments where it maybe goes a bit too long, and like I said, Vicky Vale being pretty useless, and Knox being a bit useless. Mm-hmm. It could. There's bits that could have been punched up.
But maybe you kind of get exhausted because like so much has happened. Because I have a similar thing with Raiders. I always talk about Raiders, how like when he says what truck, by then I'm already exhausted from the movie because I've been so entertained and I've been so like, oh my god, this is great. So at some point it can't be so great anymore. So you're like your enthusiasm kind of goes down. So I completely understand.
I agree with that. Also with Raiders, that happens to me sometime with that movie as well. Mm-hmm. So but then we watched Returns and I was glued and entertained and enthralled and I was ready for Batman 3 by the end of that. And it was funny because we both at the end of it were both like, wow, because Phil was kind of like, oh, I don't really like Returns, I'm not really sure about it. It's like, oh, let's watch it, come on, let's watch it.
It's a baby's toy.
and yeah, we're watching. I thought, you know what, I'm not saying that I was more entertained, but the level of entertainment and the level of attention
is balanced, I think.
Yes. Everything is tweaked with Returns. Mm-hmm. And like I said, I think I can now, you mentioned it, Burton being disappointed about not getting 3. He was clearly continuing to tweak, and he improved with Returns and was probably going to knock it out of the park with 3.
Oh my god! I bet 3 would have been really awesome. Oh my gosh!
I bet so.
Because I think even like because I think they took the designs from 3 and just kind of used it for the next one. Because I do believe it was going to be similar to the Batman Forever suit, the Panther suit. I feel like it was going to have like the muscle, but you know how it's more slick. I do like how the suits improve, because the first one looks more homemade. Yeah, which is okay because it's first year Batman. He's been doing it for a few months. It looks more homemade. I get it.
Yeah.
But like Returns again, people who weren't here in the beginning, the suit is so
golden.
Good. Oh my god, it's perfect. Like it's like the perfect suit. It's like probably my number one Batman suit. I want to read this comment before we forget about it. Christian Bale's detective work is grabbing people and asking where the things are. Where are they? Why?
Where are you? Here.
Where's the detonator? Okay, I think we're finally halfway through this. Oh, okay. Have we mentioned the gadgets? I do love the gadgets.
Yeah, the gadgets are fine. I can't think of. There's none that stand out to me though. I got to be honest. Like I remember them like the thing where he shoots the thing and they, instead of shooting Jack, the Joker, and then they swing across and yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
What's your favorite gadget then?
My favorite gadget. My favorite gadget would probably, like, to me, because I'm kind of thinking Returns. I'm sorry, Phil. I'm sorry, but I count both of these as one. Damn it. So anyway, Batman Returns. My favorite gadget is his little Game Boy Batarang, where he just programs it and just throws it. It's sort of echoed in the Flash too, because I think that one's more updated, where it knows just to hit everybody.
Yes.
But this one he like programs it. I do like that.
Phil asked, does he use a Batarang in '89?
Sort of, because I think he has a string on it, because it swings open.
Yes,
he wraps it around the guy's legs. Oh, I do like that at the end. Oh my god, when he hooks onto the church,
he has
when he shoots up, and I like the big giant hook on it. Usually it's like a stupid little tiny hook, like in Batman Forever, where it's like that one to hold all the weight. But I like when he shoots this one, it's like goes, and it's like this big giant hook that will grab onto something. That's more believable than that. I do like that, and I do like that yellow belt. That yellow belt is so cool. I
was so annoyed. Of all the things, why did the Flash not do that? I'm so annoyed that the Flash figure of Keaton doesn't have the GD yellow belt.
Oh my god, Phil.
Tax write-off.
Also, not his Nike boots. That is true.
Yeah.
It's fine. I do recommend giving Batman 89 a comic. Oh yes, I saw it at Target. I should have bought it. Yes.
I've never read it.
Yeah, it's like it's how Billy D. Williams becomes Two-Face, and it's written by the guy Sam Hamm from the original Batman movie. So that's cool. I'd give that a read. Yeah, I've heard good things. I've heard great things. Let's see. Oh yeah, we talked about this before the stream, but I like how Warner Brothers has based their whole mindset on franchising building from Batman 89.
Yes.
Like ever since Batman 89, they've stuck with that formula. They stuck with building the huge tent pole, advertising it. They sort of kind of did that this year with Barbie. There is a Barbie billboard that's nothing but pink, and it just says July 21st. And it's like Batman 89 with just the logo. You just need that logo and the date.
Yes.
Yep. So they're still doing it after 40 years.
Yep.
It's like you just need to see pink, and it's Barbie. But yeah, they did that with like the directors as well, where they get these directors to, make their franchises and how they advertise their franchises. Because with Batman Returns, they knew what to do this time, because Batman Returns, they're asking for the designs so they could start making the toys, the t-shirts, the merchandise. Because with Batman, they were sort of trying to catch up. Like, oh my God, people wanted to see this movie. Let's catch up. Let's make the cereal. Let's make the toys. Let's make the gadgets, costumes, everything. So I feel like with 89, they've been basing their whole formula on this for the last 30, 40 years. And it's just incredible to me that it started with like 89.
Yes. Yeah, I agree. I totally agree. I'm looking at my notes. Well, that's my Batman. Okay. Oh yes, that was something. Okay, this is back. I got into my. This is another Vicky Vale nitpick. Another Vicky Vale nitpick. I've had too much wine, guys. No. So what also annoyed me is the film spends a lot of time telling everyone how great Vicky Vale is. Like Bruce is always like, she's great. Knox, she's great. Alfred, she's great. Why? Why is she great?
She's great.
The Joker, she's great.
She's a photojournalist. She's great. Her style is great. Her fashion is great.
And she's like, just great. Everything's great. I'm like, no, don't tell me she's great. Show me she's great. Show me why she's so
She
great.
sleeps with people on the first date. She's great. Vicky Vale puts out.
Vicky Vale's great.
She's great.
God.
She's great.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, that's my other nitpick. Just because I was talking about the first night, I think that's the other blight on this movie that I'm like, is him hanging upside down. That's you don't need that. That's weird.
Wait, when is he hanging upside down?
Oh my god, you don't remember this? So he's in the bed with Vicky Vale and he's still awake and he's like,
yes, yes,
where he can't sleep in bed and he goes to sleep hanging upside down. I'm like, yeah, that's dumb.
Oh wait, so okay, hold on. Epiphany moment. Is he asleep, or is he working out?
I would assume he's asleep because he has his arms like this and he's just
because I thought he was working out. I thought he just was, because that's like a workout technique that you can help like stretch your back, and you can like work out your core by like doing sit-ups like in that position that make you like really a stinking badass. I thought he was just working out because he couldn't sleep.
I think he's just hanging upside down because he's a bat.
That's interesting.
And I'm not sure we have much to say about the ending.
The only thing I have to say about the ending is, like I said, the Prince song annoys me.
Yeah.
And like as you said, the goons coming out of nowhere is silly.
Yeah.
And I do feel that there is it reaches a point where the Joker just crosses the line a little too much.
Mm-hmm.
And like all of these gags start coming out. Oh, you would hit a guy with glasses, would you? Oh, and he's like spitting the fake teeth. And
yeah, I think it becomes. I think that's a little bit more Jack Nicholson bringing his ideas in, because at the end, I feel like, because they mentioned on the behind the scenes where like the end, because Sam Hain's like, that's not my ending, because the ending was inspired because it was John Peters and Jack Nicholson. They went to see Phantom of the Opera, and they're like, oh, we got to have a fight in the clock tower. Yeah. So like the whole ending, I assume, is all made up on the fly. Yeah, their ideas collaborating, what would work, because it's sort of like the beginning is all structured, but now it's like, we're having fun. It's towards the end of the shoot, let's have fun. Yeah, and I think that slowly leaks into the movie a bit too much. It does. Yeah. I do like all the miniatures and models. I think those are so cool and great. Yes, adds absolutely to the aesthetic. Yep. Because what I like about these movies is similar to Raiders, where it feels like one of those old serials, like that old pulpy like 30s movies. I do like that. Even the way it's shot, the cinematography and everything. What else about the ending before we forget? I do like Batman investigating all the chemicals. I do like the gags of that. I don't want to leave without talking about that, because I think that's one of the best things about the movie too. Sort of brings in the Dark Knight Returns stuff with that smile, how he kills people. Yes. That comes in with that, and like the chemicals and how they all have like pimples and stuff because they're not wearing stuff. That's some good stuff. That's some fun items. And then another thing I want to mention before we go on to the next one is that I noticed that in both Batman and Batman Returns, two of my favorite character actors are from my favorite movies of all time. Right. So in Batman 89, the mayor is the mayor from Taking a Pelham 1, 2, 3, which is one of my all-time favorite movies. Yeah. The one with Walter Matthau. He plays the mayor in that one. He plays the mayor in that one. And this one, because he's like, we're going to have a celebration anyway. And he's like the one like Joker here, and Joker like pushes him off the screen. Yeah. And then the mayor in Batman Returns is like the secret spy who has like all the documents and the What's Up Doc, the one with the switching suitcases.
I know him. The mayor is the mayor. Yeah, it's the mayor. Yeah. In 89 in Returns is Angel's dad from X-Men 3. That's how I know him.
Oh my god, that's right. That is so right. Oh my god, you're absolutely right. Oh, here we go. We got a comment here. I would recommend reading the original Sam Hamm draft, by the way. It's an interesting read. You can clearly see how Nicholson and Keane being cast changed how the characters were written, plus Robin. Oh yeah, there's like a whole Robin deleted scene I think they actually had storyboarded, where I think there was like a chase scene, then they drove through like the circus, and I think that actually caused the death of the thing. I don't know. I don't know if they caused the death or they at least end the scene. It's one of those things. But I do remember that. I do remember the storyboards. Yes.
It's interesting to me how shy these early Batman movies were about Robin.
I think they were just too afraid of being compared to 66, even though they're doing some references to 66s. Yeah. I think that's why. Even now, they're still afraid of doing it. Even to this day. Yeah.
I was, the thing is, like, I actually didn't mind Robin in Batman Forever. I thought,
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
it
Chris
works.
O'Donnell did an awesome job. Yeah, it
Yeah,
works.
that was fine. It's not perfect, but it's fine.
I
And
think the reason why it works because I think they aged him up a bit because it's not a
yeah,
kid. Yeah, it
yeah,
works.
yeah. It makes sense if he's like a college kid or something, like, whatever, something like that. That sort of works.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, like the worst Robin though is Batman Returns, The Dark Knight Returns, or no, The Dark Knight Returns. Yeah, no,
Oh, you
no,
don't.
wait, The Dark Knight Rises, The Dark Knight Rises.
Oh, Dark Knight Rises. I was
Why?
gonna say
Why?
you don't like
First,
Carrie Kelly. I was gonna be so sad.
first off, why did he name the third film in the franchise The Dark Knight Rises when the Batman Begins, The Dark Knight Returns, and then like it should have been like the Cape Crusader? Like just have all three just should have been different. Just should have been different. God damn you, Nolan.
A studio note, I'm guessing. We gotta let the people know it's a sequel to The Dark Knight.
But yeah, no, their little Robin gag with that. Well, what's your first name? It's Robin.
It's Robin.
Shut up.
It's Robin. Okay, so is there anything else you want to say about 89 before we finally go to Returns?
No. But about Robbo's comment, I was listening to the podcast, the Epic Film Guys podcast, where they went to the screening of the Batman Forever Schumacher cut.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a different scene that's of Chris O'Donnell doing proper training that isn't a stupid laundry scene that I was like, oh, that's interesting. And that scene isn't in the Schumacher cut, the alleged Schumacher cut.
Ooh, there is one thing I want to talk about before we move on.
Go on.
It's the elephant in the room. I completely forgot about it. What are your thoughts on Joker being connected to Batman's origin?
I mean, I guess it's a little on the nose. It's a little like, oh, okay, whatever. But at the same time, I didn't mind it.
Okay.
I don't mind it. It doesn't ruin it for me. It's like, okay, yeah, you made me, I made you. I like that line. I like that bit. I like that Ever Dance with the Devil, Pale Moonlight, and then that coming back. That's a nice little mystery twist.
Yeah.
That I think Tim Burton improved on in Batman Returns. with the all dressed in or the mistletoe, a kiss can be deadly.
That's much better.
And I was like,
it's the same thing but much better.
Yes.
Much better. Oh my god, so much better. It's the
Whew.
reversal. It's the reversal.
It is.
Because instead of it's their character saying it first, then they reveal it's human, not
Yes.
I'm okay. I give the origin thing a pass because it's of the era. Because back then, you had to write scripts this way, and back then they were not thinking of franchise. Because that's another thing Batman 89 inspired and changed the world. Yeah. Batman 89 started the franchise, the term franchise, that whole thing. Because I don't think there was the word. I would believe so. Because you could say like,
what about Superman?
There's that, but like Superman wasn't that pop. Like I don't know, but I would say like Batman sort of started it to like let's focus on building a franchise. Like Superman.
Maybe because I'm just thinking out loud here. I guess I wonder if the fast food element would not have been probably a thing when Superman came out. So you probably weren't thinking about the fast food toys and all that kind of stuff. And that was
Yeah, because it changed. It changed because like over that 10 years, because like we could say like sure there's sequels. Sure, like I think there was like sequels because like Luke. Here's the funny thing: the first ever sequel that I could recall, like officially had like 2 in the title was
X-Men
Jaws.
2?
Jaws 2.
Jaws 2. Yes.
Jaws 2 was the first movie to actually have a 2 in the title, and that's like 1980, 79, something like that. So like back then it was like still fresh. Sure, you could have sequels, but I feel like
when was Jaws 2?
Jaws 2 is because Jaws
78.
Is it 78 too?
1978.
Is it?
Yes.
Everything came out in 78? Oh my god, everything came out in 78. What the hell? I didn't want to say 78 because I'm like Superman came out in 78, Halloween came out in 78. The Swarm came out in 78. There's no way Jaws 2 came out in 78.
78 was the summer of love, baby.
Yeah, I want to go back to 78. Give my time machine. I'm going to go then.
Yep.
But anyway, like franchise was not part of the mind, but it was more sequel. I think like the only true franchise would probably be Star Wars before this and probably Planet of the Apes. So they're not really...
Yes. And that Planet of the Apes, you could probably argue Planet of the Apes was the first mega franchise because that had toys, that had films, that had TV show, that had books, that had comics. That was huge. That was huge. Yeah, yeah.
But I do think it's like that. Maybe it's like Batman 89 was the start of the new era.
It's the set. Yeah, it's a different kind of franchise.
Yes,
if that's the word I'm looking for. Maybe.
Yeah, mentality, different mentality. Yep. Yeah, that's what that is. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. I see a comment down here. Let's see. Hang on. I think you're correct. It was very of the era to kill the Joker. Also, they were thinking of sequels. Way to do it today. They probably wouldn't have done that. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Well, hang on. You say that, but. Sam Raimi's Spider-Man movies kill all the villains, except for Sandman.
But I still think they were still grasping on to the old era of Batman '89 influence.
But is that why those movies are so great?
Because they're all standalone adventures. Yes.
Also, think about it. Spider-Man 2 ends in the exact same way as Batman Returns. It's a somber ending where, yes, Mary Jane has ditched her wedding, goes to Peter Parker's dumpy apartment. She's like, "I love you," and then the police sirens go on. He's like, "I gotta go, baby." And then there's not like a happy ending. Her smile drops, and like there's a sad look on her face.
Like she has to accept it. Yeah.
And you're like, "Whoa!" And then the film ends, and you're like, "What? What? This must be happy ending. Happy."
I think this is just your way to say Spider-Man.
No.
We gotta hit all the home runs. We gotta run around the bases. Star Trek, Smallville.
I'm recognizing the influence on other films. The influence.
But yeah, so Rob Brando says he agrees with you. That is why they're so great. That is probably true because they killed off the villains. They're standalone adventures. They're making story that's. Oh my God! Maybe we should talk about Spider-Man 2 at some point.
We should. One last bit on that, because the most exhausting thing about X-Men 3 is Magneto and his. I'm just like, shut up, Magneto. I don't care about your stupid war anymore. Shut up.
That's
like,
true.
He was great in X-Men 2, but he wasn't the main villain. He was a part of the solving of the problem, and that made him interesting. But it's like, by the time you get to 3, we're rehashing X-Men 1. I'm like, oh God.
It really is, isn't it? It's just rehash.
Yeah, it's the same shit. Just with Brett Ratner in charge, made it awful.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Okay, what's the comment here? Smallville.
Created by the guys who wrote Spider-Man 2.
And wrote Wednesday starring Jenna Ortega.
And Wednesday.
All right, we're finally here. We're finally to Batman Returns. We could talk about it. Okay, Phil, you happy?
1992.
Are you happy, Phil? We're happy.
The year is 1992.
Yes. And how old is Luke in this time?
How old am I? I'm like 5, 6.
Okay, so you're ahead of me. I think
yeah.
This time I'm like 2 or 3 at this time. So
yeah, I'm according as you know, as Captain Iron Dog mentioned on Twitter, he's he's much younger. I'm old. That's why I know about Smallville.
Yes. Phil says he's satisfied.
Captain Iron Dog's in the chat.
You're barely getting into Returns. Yes, Captain Iron Dog finally showed up. Yes, we've been talking about Captain Iron Dog. We were talked about the first 30 minutes of Batman freaking hour. For an hour, because we were just hyping up how much we love that first 15 minutes.
It's perfect. It's perfect cinema. It's excellent writing. It's just excellent. It's just excellent.
Charles. Okay. Well, the thing about Batman. Okay, so we're finally here, Phil. We're going to talk about it. So the thing I love about Batman Returns is that you could feel the budget on the screen. Every amount of dollars are on the screen. Unlike nowadays, where you're like, you spent $300 million on this and it looks like shit. It's like you spent $300 million and it looks like $300 million.
Oh yeah.
The matte paintings, the miniatures, the cinematography is so different because it's like, all right, I'm going to bring my guy in. We're going to make it look slick.
Yes.
Like we got more money in the bank account. We got a bigger piggy bank for Batman Returns. We're going to use every freaking dollar on the screen. The sets, Gotham, extras, the snow, oh my God, like the music, everything, there's so much in this movie. I love it.
I know everyone sort of goes back to 89, but I really just feel like Returns just takes everything up a notch, and it's everything is firing. It's firing on all cylinders in a way that 89 didn't quite have.
Yeah.
But Batman Return, I think, nails everything. It's scarier. It's more gothic. It's probably closer to a Batman a Batman comic, because some Batman comics are far from kid friendly, and some of them are really quite dark and awful. And I like that they. I mean, the thing is, it starts off so nuts. Like when you like the Penguin's origin of like these parents chucking their deformed kid into the lake and just as like like a Moses, almost a corrupted Moses.
Yes,
just
absolutely
sending him to see what the f happens to him. It's like, I can't believe you're starting out a Batman movie with two parents doing that. It's so morbid.
Yes, and I don't know if you saw it this way, but I always interpreted that the happy couple with the white carriage is Bruce Wayne's parents. I don't think it is.
I know people have said that. Yeah.
Well, I always interpret that. I always interpret it as that. Even as a kid, I think like, oh, that's fun. That's Bruce Wayne, isn't it? Or at least that's how I would see it. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Yes. Oswald Cobblepot's dad, played by Pee Wee Herman.
Yes, and the woman is the love interest from Pee-wee's Grand Adventure when they send the T-Rex. So it's a reference.
Yes.
Oh my God, I wanted to say that fun fact. The whole reason why Tim Burton got Batman is because his Pee-wee's Grand Adventure only cost $8 million to make, but it made $40 million. So they're like, give us that money. You know how to make a low budget movie and, you know, make it look great. So that's why they brought him on for this.
Yeah. I loved it. I loved it. You know, I like the fact that, you know, we got the villain set up so nicely. You get, it's just, and everything is just so weird. I think that's what Tim Burton brings to this stuff is, and this is why I get bored when they try and we're going to make Batman realistic. Or Batman really just in our world. I don't give a crap. I don't give a crap. Batman is weird. It's a weird world. Lean into it. So that the fact that he just gets founded by some penguins and lives underground with some penguins and some people, and I guess he does have a weird sort of crime syndicate underground because he's got people working for him. Penguin does. But it's just like, I love it.
Yeah, it works. It works for this world because it's so stylized.
Yes.
Because there was a time where I did not like Returns, because I remember I went to high school, like not high school. I think it was a college when I was more strict on storylines. And I was like, this movie doesn't make any sense. Just the character, it doesn't go anywhere. It can't focus. But now, you know, hindsight's 2020. I'm older, not as critical. I'm more like, you know me, I'm like all about love now. Like, I'd rather love the movie than hate it.
Yeah. Yes.
I see that it's all stylized. It's a Burton movie. Like, this is a Burton movie. Yes. We said it several times, like, they let Burton loose. And I wish they would do this more often with film creators. It's just like, you give them a franchise and just let them be. Let them do what they want to do, because it'll give something creative. It may not all stick. It may not all work.
True.
God damn it, I'll love it.
You might get your Dark Shadows every once in a while.
Yes. Oh, yeah, Dark Shadows. I do enjoy Dark Shadows. I do like that. That was fun. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. It was like a 90s movie. It was like Beethoven or something. That's fine.
Yeah. But yeah, what was I was gonna say about Batman Returns? Oh shit, what was I gonna say? Oh no.
You lost it. You dropped it.
Yeah, I lost it. Take over. I lost my
Okay, yep. Okay. So let's see. This is I think we mentioned a little bit earlier before, but I'll mention again. I do love Batman patrolling in this, because he never does that in any of the movies.
Yes.
I just love him driving at night. He's just looking for crime.
Yes.
That's what I love.
And he was looking. He was checking in on Cobblepot. But I love the fact that, like, people can just be walking around and be like, "Oh my God,
there's the Batmobile.
There's Batman."
Yeah, he's not just out, like he has to wait for crime. He's out there. He's investigating. He's driving. I do appreciate that.
I do too.
And he's not hiding it. He's like, "I am here. I am Batman."
Yes,
you better run.
It's because, like, the city has embraced him. He's embracing it. There's no question about it. And I really get, I get bored with the whole, like, oh, he's a vigilante. That was boring to me with the Dark Knight movies. I don't, like, just move on. Just give us Batman. They're
full on. He's like full on working with the mayor and the commissioner. They're like walking alongside him. Like, it's almost like it's almost like a FEMA thing where, like, they all have to meet up. Like, Batman has to be involved with, like, the FEMA meeting. Like, we have to figure out how to fix the city.
Yes. And so I really do appreciate that, and it's something that I hope that they do with the Batman 2, because
I do. Bring it in.
They've got the sign. He was helping people at the end of the movie. It's like, That should be enough for me to buy. They
And
should
she just won mayor. She just won mayor, so there's a partnership there because he helps her out there. I hope that's established. Oh my God, that'd be so great. Him working with the mayor and the police, because they realize they need him. Yes, because he was there to help him out for that evacuation. Oh my God, I love that movie too. Damn it, Luke. Why? Why? I think it all depends what they do with Batman. I think that's why, because I'm so excited what they do next. Because what they have established with the Batman, Robert Pattinson.
Yes,
it could be like the next great Batman if they nail it right. It could. But anyway, Batman Returns, so good. I love it. What do you think of Christopher Walken? Wow.
I love it.
Higher window.
I love him. I thought that was a great. He gives a good performance. He's weird. He's scary. That when he murders Selena. Like, and she's like, "Oh, you're joking. Oh, I don't. Oh my God, I can't tell." You know, like I love it. He's got me on edge. Mm-hmm. He just has that thing to him, and because he's not unlike, say, Tommy Lee Jones, who's really just imitating Jack Nicholson.
Yeah.
He is not. No one in this movie is imitating anyone from Batman '89. Mm-hmm. They are their own thing. And I appreciate it so much. I think that's partly why this works so well. There's no sort of like, oh, we're rehashing gag, we're rehashing this. He just is a piece of shit businessman, you know, and a corrupt businessman, and they just go with it. And I like him. What about you?
I like Christopher Walken in this because there's some great moments. Like, he doesn't even know who Selena Kyle is, even though she works with him. He's like, "Remember to let me take it out on what's her name."
Yes.
And then Santa Claus, afraid not. I just like all his moments. He has some great lines.
I do like his bit at the end where he's like, "Why, Bruce? Why are you dressed as Batman?"
Right? Yeah, it doesn't even click with him. Like, it doesn't make sense. Like, he doesn't even like fathom. Like, oh yeah, Bruce Wayne is Batman. Oh my God, he's that thick. He is that thick. Because I do believe that. Because I kind of do think he's kind of dumb. Because even his password is his dog, which is right on his desk. So he's sort of like a silly like guy who just wants to make power plant or whatever.
Yes.
In the original draft, I do believe it was supposed to be Harvey Dent because that's how he got the scarred face at the end. It was changed.
Yes, I will say it is weird for '89 to introduce Harvey Dent and then to him just disappear.
Yes.
Gone. And then suddenly Tommy Lee Jones is Harvey Dent. Like, what? But I don't consider Forever as Batman 3. Mm-hmm.
I used to, but now I'm like, it's sort of like, it's almost like a different, because all these multiverses is almost like a different time strand.
Well, see, I was a big James Bond fan as a kid. Mm-hmm. And so the way I was viewing Batman was exactly like Bond. I was like, every new actor is a new Bond. It's a new Bond world. It doesn't matter. Like, it's like you have Connery era Bond, and that's what I just thought with Forever and all those. Yeah.
What do you guys think of Chip Shrek, the best performance in the movie? Dad, save yourself.
Yeah, I have nothing to say about Chip.
Nothing to say about Chip.
Nothing.
Chip
all of my attention was on Catwoman. Dear God, she is distracting.
Batman Forever is the new line of spaghetti. Yes. Yeah. It is. Oh my gosh. But I also want to talk about. I did mention it, but I do want to talk about it again. The miniatures in this. The miniatures are so good because I'm thinking about the Max Schreck building and how it just makes Gotham look bigger. Because there's even shots later in the movie when Catwoman's stuck onto that umbrella and you see more of Gotham.
Yes.
Like, you didn't see that in Batman '89, but in Batman Returns you see more Gotham, and I like how it's just sort of like building on top of itself. I think it's mentioned earlier.
Yes.
Yeah, it just keeps building up. They keep going up.
I love that. I always think of, like, what's interesting to me is I don't recall many many actual outdoor shots that were filmed legitimately outdoors. Everything looked like it was a set, but a stunning set. Mm-hmm. Whereas '89 had moments where they're blatantly outside. Yeah. And you have outside sets where, like, the background would blatantly be a painting. Yeah. But everything in this is just amped up. And I love that we see more of Gotham, because there was always 89 was great, but it was this weird sort of mesh of like a kind of a New York, but kind of a New York Gotham.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas I think he got more money, more stuff. He could really play with
Mm-hmm.
Gotham, and this Gotham feels more. Yeah, it just feels more real.
Yeah, more lived in, because there's even like more extras. There's more
Yeah.
people in the town square. Because I think in Batman '89, it's like a couple looks okay.
I think the most extras in Batman '89 is that opening with
Yes.
with the Wayne fake out.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah.
where there's a ton of people, and that's where like they basically took that and were able to do that for the entire film of Batman
Mm-hmm.
Returns. And I'm like,
Yes.
I was there for it.
Mm-hmm.
Gosh.
Mm-hmm.
And I also like that. Sorry, I keep interrupting. This is the last thing I'll say. I also think that like 89 or not, Returns really does have an edge, a hard edge that 89 just doesn't have. And I think that's what works for me more.
Mm-hmm.
I love the edge. It's mean. It's a mean
Mm-hmm.
film. It's a
Oh
mean.
yeah, it's mean. Because like in the beginning, when Batman gets to town, he's not fucking around. He's like, we're gonna take care of these fuckers. Like he has machine guns on his thing.
Yeah.
He has his little thing. He puts them on fire, and he's just like, we're gonna get rid of this crime.
Yeah.
This like they're gonna get back up. Like he's almost like that's the other thing people always complain about. Like it's like the Punisher. I'm like, but with this Burton verse, it's sort of established like he's not messing around. He wants to get rid of crime. Yeah. They may get injured in the process, but he wants to like wipe it out.
Yes.
And he's technically, if
he's killing people.
Technically, he did clean up Gotham. That's the best thing. A different strand of spaghetti.
What's so funny to me, I don't know if that was some sort of in-joke or reference to Batman and Robin. Because the R. Kelly song is Gotham City, City of Peace, City of Love. And I'm like, R. Kelly, do you even know anything about Batman, you sick pervert? Like, do you know anything? Because but it's like that's what makes that funny to me. Because I'm like, are they just trying to reference the Gotham? But also, it's clearly a rewrite because they're not doing the Batgirl movie.
Oh yeah, right, correct.
Because that was meant to take place next, and that Gotham was clearly not cleaned up.
Yes.
So have some more wine.
Have more wine. More wine. But yeah, I love 89 though, because he's like a brutal Batman, but it's still fun. It's still fun. Yes. Like it's cartoonish violence, I would say. Where it's like
it's comic book. It's like I said, 89 Returns is exactly the same. It's like I am looking at live comic book panels.
Oh my god, it's more so with this one, kind of with the first one, but like you know what I love about Batman and Batman Returns, and because I grew up near this theme park called Darien Lake, and they would have live Batman shows, and just the aesthetic was so simple enough that you could buy a live action show of Batman. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like the factories is all sort of like real, and you can make it like, you know, stylized, and it sort of looks like a set in the movie. So in real life, when you watch the set, it's sort of like you're going into Gotham, and that's what I love about these movies. So like you could kind of do that, like bring it to a theme park world, which I've kind of seen. That's what reminded me when I was watching these movies. I was like, oh my god, I remember watching like Batman the show, where the Batman, you know, car would come out there and they would all fight, and then they'd fall into like a, you know, vat of chemicals or whatever. It was fun.
Yeah.
And that's sort of like you could do it. You could do it as a performance, and it sort of works. I don't know. I like it. It just reminds me. Yeah, it reminds me of like those, like I mentioned already, the serials. It's great.
Yes.
Great stuff. Great stuff. Let's see.
Go on.
Go ahead.
Okay, we mentioned the Christmas setting, but I love that this is set at Christmas time.
Yes.
I love movies set at Christmas time
because the blacks and the whites, the contrast, which I really love.
Yes.
I know Burton sort of does this too much later in his career, but this one, I feel like he nails it. Like he had like all his ideas, and he used them in this one, and he sort of just repeats himself.
Yes,
but this is where he nails it.
Yes,
it's so cool. I love it. Everything, like the costume designs in this as well, like the Catwoman suit and the Batman suit, everything.
Everything about the way that the style of the look of everyone.
Mm-hmm.
I love Penguin. He looks so gross.
Mm-hmm.
Like, especially when he's not wearing a suit and he's just wearing like his like
onesie.
Yeah. It's so sick. It's so sick and stained and nasty. and in the it's just everything's perfectly done.
Yeah,
because and then you have like you have Christopher Walken, Mr. Shrek, who's kind of flamboyant, almost a bit sort of Dracula-esque, I think,
yes,
in his dress and appearance. And but I also love the makeshiftness of Catwoman's outfit. I love that she just grabbed whatever leather junk. Obviously, it just happens to match whatever. I don't care about that. But like, I love that. I love the stitches. Everything about that just works. Like, without stitches, there's zippers, I suppose. But I love it. And I also like that throughout the course of the film, her suit just keeps getting more and more wrecked.
Yes.
It doesn't get fixed. It's not magically fixed.
Nope.
It's just still wrecked.
It's still the same suit, and she just keeps putting it on.
Yes.
Yes.
So I love it. Now, like I said, and you've said, the Returns Batsuit is pinnacle.
Yes. Oh my god.
It is the best.
So good.
Like, when you go from that, like when you look at the cowl of 89, and it looks cool and menacing, but then when you get that more sleek, nicely fitted, it's just like, that's it. That's it. Give me more of that, baby.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I was going to say the set design as well, because we talked about the town, Gotham, but you mentioned Selena, and I just remembered her apartment, which is a shithole because there's a big giant bar going through it. She has like to walk around it and duck or something. It's so great. And not only that, but it looks like it was a bigger apartment and they cut it in half. And it clearly looks like that. Because I think one of her things is cut in half. I think it might be like the fireplace. I don't know if am I thinking of another movie or this one? But there's like something there. I might be thinking of another movie.
Her apartment is crap, but I also love the pink. She's clearly painted everything pink, but even that pink is now dirty and stained and sad and depressing. It's just,
she's trying so hard to be positive with her life, and it just
and then she checks the voicemail, and the guy's like, my therapist says I need to stop being with people who are so like controlling or something like that. And it's
he doesn't want to be an appendage, so I'm guessing she's just using him for sex. I think that's implied.
Yes, that was it. Appendage. That was it. Yes.
Yep.
And I love that. Then her mom's like, "When you gonna get married?" or something like that in the voicemail.
Hello, this is Selena. You're self-calling. I love that.
Yes.
Oh my god.
And she sparkled. I swear, Selena sparkles on camera.
She's so
Michelle
great.
Pfeiffer
and she does both so perfectly.
Yeah,
she's like the little mousy girl who's like nervous and talks to herself, and then later she like elevates that. Like, what if that little mousy girl becomes like the hotness, but she doesn't, like, she's still awkward though. It's so good. It's so good.
I totally agree. I bought it entirely, and this is the thing. Like, when I compare like love interests from 1 and 2, Vicky Vale just pales in comparison
to all of them. Actually, I think, honestly, other than Elle Macpherson. Elle Macpherson is not a character in Batman and Robin. I think she's
right. Lucas. Yeah, no, I forgot to tell you about Bruce. That's all
Ivy.
I remember.
Ivy. Who's Ivy?
You called me Ivy.
Who's Ivy? Yeah, so she's on the bottom for sure. Nicole Kidman's on top.
She's second.
Oh, she's second to you. Yeah.
She's second. That was the first Batman movie I saw in the cinema, and that bedroom scene where she's in bed and she's naked. And
she's just naked, bro. She's just naked in a children's film. Just naked.
I mean, 8-year-old Luke was like,
hubba. Yeah, Nicole Kidman, I'm sure, is an awakening for a bunch of 90s kids. So that's why they all love her AMC intro. Don't spit out your drink. I just saw you take a drink. Oh my god. But I see Phil said this. It's split right down the center. So good. So many good lines in this movie. I love it.
I do like Robbo's comment. Says it tracks that a movie starring Ezra Miller would pay homage to a song written by a Predator.
Oh, geez. Gotham City. Oh, yeah.
That's that cracks me up. I like that.
Here's the line. It was, I mistook me for somebody else. That's the line I like.
I mistook. Yes. I love that bit. I love that so much. Even though maybe it is on the nose, but what I loved about it was like she is so distracting to him. She is her allure is so strong. She's the perfect femme fatale.
Yeah.
Like,
and that he recognized her right away and is into her because he's like, I saw her as Batman, and I wanted to talk to her then, but I couldn't do it because I was Batman.
yes.
He's so head over heels for her. That's what I like about this movie as well.
Yes.
Every time you look, he's just like, take me away. Let's go.
Let's go
Let's
be villains together. I don't care.
Even like his dinner date is like, let's have dinner at 6. How about 5? Like whatever works for you. Let's do this. I want to talk to you. It's like, let's be people.
Yeah, and they're so charming. I guess that was something that missed so greatly from '89 is the charm with the love interest, and there's so much charm when they are Bruce and Selina. There is. I love it, and like and the scene where they're both at the house and they don't know who each other are yet, and they're getting it on, but there's like reasons for them to stop and needing to break up and like making excuses to leave. Like it just crackled. That was great writing, great
stuff,
great directing, great acting. That stuff is
because it nails it. It's perfect how they're trying to have like sex, and then like like, oh no, don't find that because he got stabbed, and then the burn mark is like, it's so good. It's so good how they work that in. Like, oh my god, it works. It's great. We'll stick on the relationship. I don't want to jump too hard, but we're talking about the relationship. To me, it's so heartbreaking when they're at that dinner because he desperately wants to save her. He knows something's wrong with her.
Yes.
And he wants to love her, and she keeps pushing him away, and he's grasping onto her, and she's so troubled, she's so broken, she doesn't know who she is anymore. So similar to him in this movie, sort of, because he doesn't know if like, oh my god, can I be Batman and Bruce Wayne with her or whatever? I don't know, but like, it's so good. And like when they're talking about the mistletoe and then like the gun, and she's like, I don't know who I am anymore, and then after they find out who each other are, the line that makes me watery-eyed, like, oh my god, is when she says, does this mean we have to start fighting? Yes. And it's so sad. It's so tragic. It's like, they just like, can they ever be? Can they ever be?
Yes, I love it. The other thing that I really love when I was a note that I took when I was watching the movie was kind of back to the intro, but it applies to the whole movie, is that beginning with the Penguin intro, it's just so set up that this movie, I say more than Batman '89, is just a full-on horror movie. It's monsters and madmen the whole time.
Yes,
it is just and I wrote here like the language itself is gross, because like when the Penguin first appears and he's like, "What you place in your toilet, I put on my mantle." And I'm like, that is such vivid description that it's just that it's excellent. Yes, I love it.
You flush it, I flush.
And also this, like Catwoman, when she comes back to her apartment and her cat comes back and she's like, "Oh, back for more sexual escapades." Like, this is a kids movie.
Yeah, like it's like full on Burton though. Like, this is what he's into. Because like I'm shocked at like the whole S&M thing, because I was watching it and I was like, oh my god, like imagine like 92 and this is there. Like nowadays it probably make more sense because it's more open. But like back then that they're doing this for a mainstream movie.
Yes.
For a mainstream character. Yeah.
The edgiest Catwoman we've ever had.
Absolutely.
What was her Dark Knight Returns one?
Dark Knight Returns, Anne Hathaway?
Anne Hathaway. Damp squib. Boring. Not Zoe Saldana. Love
Kravitz.
Zoe Kravitz was... There's some chemistry there. I think they had more chemistry on their press tour than they did in the movie.
Absolutely. Good Lord. But to me, her character in that movie is sort of like Paul Vitti and Analyze This. Hey, Doc, you got to help me. Fuck you. No one helps Paul Vitti. It's like, come on. You're asking help for this whole time. And then you don't want help.
Yeah. So I think, she... Pfeiffer, along with, Newmar and Kit, are the holy trinity of Catwoman right now. No one is really, dethroned them. I don't think.
No. And Robo Brando mentions they tried repeating the whole mousy character become a supervillain trope so many times, and other superhero movie sense, and it's never worked as well as Pfeiffer. I agree. And we just mentioned that. We mentioned Wonder Woman 84 does it, and it completely falls flat in its face that you forget that she's even in the movie, because all you remember is Pedro Pascal saying, "You want it? It's yours, my friend, but as long as you have enough rubies." It's like that, my gosh. But we talked about this earlier about how unhinged it is, how like Penguin like bites the nose on the guy, and then like, you're the sexiest, hottest girl that a role model could ever have.
Yes.
And we did mention
Oh.
Alfred is different in both movies as well.
Yes, this is something I love, and this I think that Walker scene, the Max Shrek scene where he wants to kill her, and she says this wonderful line. She goes, "How can you be so mean to someone so meaningless?"
Oh yeah, that is a great line.
And it's like, again, it's like this film is hitting it hard. Like
Yes.
we've not only we've seen her depressing life, she
Mhm.
now is admitting to someone who is threatening to kill her. I'm
Mhm.
meaningless. Please don't kill me. I have no meaning, but I still want to live.
Yeah,
But yours.
absolutely.
Oh, I mean, like
Mhm.
the villainry in this is,
Mhm.
while the Joker was fun and things were quite zany and silly, I think the villainry in Returns is
It's much darker.
it's on another level.
It's on another level. Yep, exactly. I'd agree. What are your thoughts on that as well? So, like the first 40 minutes of this movie are like almost Batman-less. The only time you see Batman is that great action sequence, and then he disappears, and he doesn't come back until he's watching TV 40 minutes later. So, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think Phil mentioned that. He was like, "Oh, this would be great if this was a Batman movie." And my comment was, "Well, what is a Batman movie?"
Mm-hmm.
We are in.
Luke, speak to me, Luke. Have we lost Luke?
No.
Oh, you still here?
Yeah.
You froze. You froze on my end. Yeah, you
Okay.
froze on my end, and the audio dropped.
Okay. Yeah, no, I'm still here.
Okay.
It didn't freeze for me, but that didn't mean it didn't freeze other people.
Yep.
My internet still seems like it's fine.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was saying that. So Phil was like, "Oh, this is." I don't know how much you heard, but yeah, he was saying Phil was like, "Oh, what? It was a Batman movie. Where's Batman?" Blah, blah, blah. I was like, "But what is a Batman movie?
Mm-hmm.
What is that?" And my thought was, look, we're in Batman's world. We've already seen Batman '89. We've already seen this beginning action scene where Batman has kicked ass. We know who he is. We know he's out there. Let's spend some time with some new characters and learn a little bit about them, what their lives are like. I love spending that time with Max Shrek and with Selina and with Penguin, and seeing this stuff all start to, the storm beginning to brew with all of their three different plans. Max wants to do he basically wants someone in charge in the mayor's office that he can manipulate, and he can't quite do that yet.
Mm-hmm.
Wants to use Penguin. Penguin wants to go get revenge on Gotham, the rich, because he was abandoned, all that kind of stuff. And Selina wants revenge on Max for killing her. I'm like that. I'm spending the time to set all that up for me is well worth it. Worth it, because we get so much good stuff with Bruce and Selina throughout the rest of the movie.
Yes,
that to me it doesn't bother me.
I think that's what I was going to mention it too, because with this rewatch, I did feel that, but I feel like what Tim Burton did with these two movies, and I think it works, is that they are really companion pieces.
Yeah.
Because the first one, you get enough Bruce. So if you watch them both together, you already know Bruce. You don't need to be reintroduced to Bruce again. So with the next one, you just need to learn about the characters, learn about the world. Yeah. I do wish there was a little bit more Keaton. I do wish that. But I see what he's trying to do.
Yeah.
And I get it. And I support his vision. Sure, let's go with it. Because later on, you're absolutely right. We get tons of great Batman moments. To get him fighting in the street, we get him with Selina Kyle.
Yes.
We get some great scenes. We get him in Alfred scenes, like the soup. That's great stuff.
Yes.
Him reading more files. It's supposed
to be cold.
But yeah, it's good stuff. There's good stuff. You just have to wait for it. And he did give you a huge set piece. Let this satisfy you until we get to the rest of the movie. Because he nails it. He gives you the Batmobile. He gives you people on fire, fighting, good stuff.
Yeah. And the thing is that none of it is boring. It's all fun stuff.
Yeah.
If
all interesting.
Scenes, yes. If all that stuff was boring and dull and kind of plodding along, sure, I would be like, "Where's Batman? Where's Batman?" But it crackles. It really does. The other thing I was going to say that's interesting. Back to the monsters and Mad Men comment. Selina's transformation. She's like a zombie. She's like a Frankenstein almost, because when she's coming back to life, it's so jarring and jittery and stuff, and she's dead being resurrected into Catwoman, and that's why she's literally a zombie. I love it. I don't think people don't talk about that. I guess I didn't realize it as much growing up, but watching it this time, I was like, she's dead.
It's almost like she came back to life, somehow there was some little life that brought her back, because she was dead full on
Yes.
dead, because that's how she's acting when she comes back. It's like, yeah, it's almost like she recognizes herself, but she's not herself.
Yes.
And for like the rest of the movie, like that, yes, I love that stuff.
I love that. That was good.
Mm-hmm,
That was good.
Mm-hmm. I like this comment right here. Returns works because it doesn't overstate or mythologize Batman's importance as a character in Gotham or the narrative. He's there and you understand his motivations, and there's no need for speeches. Absolutely. I think Keaton actually said that, because Keaton had like a weird time doing the performance, but he had to just tell himself that. He's like, there's no need for all the huge performances. It's just like, I'm continuing as this character. I don't have to pretend to be Batman. It's like, this guy already exists. I don't have to add anything new to it. Yes. And that's good stuff. It's good stuff.
What do you think about the clowns? There's clowns in this, and it's funny that there's clowns, given that Joker was in the first movie. You know,
it's fine, because I get it, because they keep saying he was part of the circus. He was a part of the freak show, so it's fine. It's fine. Okay. I do like the whole zoo, the abandoned zoo. I love that whole aesthetic, and that's where the penguin car comes from. I love that. It's good stuff. Or I should say Ducky car. I should say
the Ducky car. Yes, that's it. Again, it's like, it's, you know, I because there's all that kind of stuff in it, the Ducky car, but even like in the first movie, there's cars that are painted Joker colors and all that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. This is just a perfect Batman comic book come to life.
Mm-hmm. You kind of mentioned earlier how the Batman 89 is like, it feels smaller, and it does, because I feel like everything's in like rooms, or it's like close-ups, but like with Returns, it's like bigger. It's like what Phil always talks about with Jurassic Park. Like, Jurassic Park should always be 16 by, or not, was it, you know, the full frame. It should be the full frame with the dinosaurs. It should not be widescreen. Yeah. It should not be letterbox. It should be like the whole thing. But yes, I feel like that's what happens with this one, because like there's huge sets, because like we talked about the zoo, like the whole penguin, like my dear penguins, and it's like a place that they used to have like a little water show. At the zoo. It's so good.
Yes. Yeah. No. The sets, everything looks fun. Like Shrek's office is interesting. The little cat thing, you know, this little cat symbol, this little logo thing was interesting. Like, I still think about like the set where they kill. But first they abduct the lady who pushes the turns the Christmas lights.
Yes,
that rooftop scene with her is so it's so vivid to me. The way when Catwoman and Bruce, Batman are fighting up there, and she's there, and then the bats, and then they, you know, she falls and he chases after Catwoman.
Batman kind of fails in this movie.
He does, yeah.
That's another thing I like. He doesn't save her, and they sort of like wonder like what's going on with Batman, and that never really does get resolved. And I kind of, maybe that's what Burton was going to do with the third one, where they're not sure where Batman stands.
Yes, because I guess he is accused of killing. Some guy's like, Batman pushed her.
Yeah, but they still use the signal at the end, so that's fine.
That is true. Mm-hmm. That is true. That is true.
Mm-hmm. But there's some question.
It's not as bad as Indiana Jones being accused of murder and then just never bringing that back up.
And then they're yelling his name in the middle of the street as he's on the run. Give him hell, Indiana Jones! Oh shit, there's Indiana Jones. Arrest the man.
True.
Love that movie, Dial of Destiny. Go see it now.
Go see it now. What I also liked and found quite interesting, and I don't know, you can decide how much we talk about it. Was anyway, what was interesting to me about the Penguin was the way he was using his differentness to manipulate everybody. And I feel that's very on message for 2023, where everyone, they have their whatever their thing is that they need to use to make them feel different, to use that as a way of you know, preaching, and it's so interesting that the Penguin is doing that, and he's so vile, so disgusting. But then you got those like bimbo girls who are like, "You're the best role model we could ever have," and then you're just like grabbing their tits, right?
They follow him on Threads. If Penguin had Threads, he would have all those girl influencers following him.
He would, and I liked it though. It's a bit of commentary that I think is maybe not. I don't know how well that's been explored since then, but I'm like, it feels quite topical, right? At least in this climate, I'm like, that's interesting that they're doing that, but I like it.
Yes. And I like how he's in this campaign vehicle and he has like the miniature Batmobile in there.
I love it.
It's so good. Although it kind of gets on my nerves a little bit because how much screaming he does. It does rattle me. I remember seeing that in the big screen. I was enjoying it, but then there was a time I was like, oh my God, just stop screaming. It does go a bit too much.
Yeah.
A smidge too long.
That might have been the only thing. There's two, I guess one of the things that kind of annoy me. It's like, wait a minute, Batman, you can control your car and tell it to come and meet you, but you don't have any sort of alarm system when people are dicking about with it. Like, there's no sort of like, hey, they're messing with your car.
Wait, like, doesn't what am I thinking of? Is there a movie where like it electrocutes them, or am I thinking of something else?
That rings a bell.
Why does that ring a bell?
That might be a Nolan thing. I feel like, or it could even be a Forever thing. But there is a thing where people touch the car, and I think they get that. I have a vague recollection of this as well.
What movie is that? What the hell?
Come on, chat, tell us. Come on.
Chat. How the hell do I not? Because I thought, like, for some reason, there's like vivid in my memory where there's like someone trying to touch the car and they get electrocuted. What the hell is that from? Is that a deleted scene? It could be a deleted scene. Because I am one of those people who I watch tons of stuff. Oh, we got a comment here. Hang on. I like that Phil said this. My rants have been acknowledged, and it brings a smile to my face. Yes! He even says like Thanos. It brings a smile to my face. I saw Batman Returns at the Theater of Tuesday Night Classics earlier this year. Amazingly, especially Danny Elfman's score. Yes, the score flipping rules. Go ahead, Luke.
I think Robbo, I think he nailed it. He says someone tries to take his mask off in The Dark Knight and gets shocked. I might be getting that mixed up.
Could be.
I'm probably getting that mixed up.
That could be it. That could be it. Oh my God. That could just be like some like Mandela effect where I incorporated that into the Batmobile. Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Yeah.
I do think that's it.
I think that's the Mandela effect right there. Let's see. It's shocking how many, speaking of Nolan with the car, it's shocking how many things he lifted from this one.
And what? Oh no! Yes.
Because he lifts the Selena Kyle while they're not wearing masks at the dance, and he also lifts how the Batmobile falls apart and becomes like the Bat Pod.
Yes, you just reminded me about that. I was screaming at the movie when that was happening. I was like, "Oh my God!"
Nolan completely stole it. He lifted it.
This is yes. I was like, this is what are you doing, Nolan? Like people like praise Nolan as if he's like this massive genius.
That's what I've been saying.
It's like no,
he's just like remixing his favorite movies.
Yes, like The Dark Knight is Heat and Batman Returns.
Yes, and oh my God, because you just mentioned. Oh yeah, I was thinking like the Dark Knight Rises. That movie, the whole opening scene is just lifted from a Bond movie.
Yes,
and like they do it better in Cliffhanger as well. Because there's a whole heist in Cliffhanger with the two planes, and that's done so much better. Because I think they also did a practical, which I find like
because also back to just briefly on Batman '89, where you have Batman targeting the Joker.
Yeah, that's right.
Have Batman gunning him down with the motorcycle, and the Joker's like, they're both like, come on, hit me, come on, do it. And both times he doesn't do it. And I remember like, that was maybe a really obvious reference in The Dark Knight. But
the Joker at the table too, the pencil is the same theme when he's like shakes the guy's hand. Go my hot one in the old town tonight.
Yes. It's he
lifts, dude. He lifts.
Man, he's just not that good. I just don't like Nolan that much. I'm not a big fan.
I like some of his movies, but I do think like he gets overpraised, like too much. Like it's almost to the point where like, come on, guys. Come on.
Yes. Yeah.
Let's see. What else are the comments? Let's see. Arkham Games does the Batmobile tases people. Could be.
Maybe.
But I think it's the Mandela effect for sure.
Yeah. You know how we were complaining about? Well, I was complaining about how the Batcave is not the same in the Flash, so that's why it's a different universe.
Yeah.
But the Batcave is also totally different in Batman Returns.
Yes, it is. I did notice that this time. I was watching it. I was like, I wonder what Luke thinks about this Batcave because it looks.
I was like, oh
different.
Shit, there goes my theory.
Because you're like, who would remodel a Batcave?
Yes.
But like this one, he totally he upgraded his cave for sure.
Yep, yep. I even think the computer console, all of it, it's all totally. It was that's one of those things. It's a very '90s thing where the next movie they don't care about what the sets were previously because like Wayne Manor's different. Everything is quite different.
And also, it was before the franchise mindset, so they destroyed
Yes.
all the sets, so they just have to build a new one. And
Yes.
how can they improve on that?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Although I do think the fireplace does seem to be echoed in Forever and in
Flash.
Batman and Robin. Oh yeah, and in Flash.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. For sure. Oh geez, Phil. Of course. That seems like a whole Phil comment right there. The Batcave, his whole house is different.
Shut up, Phil.
Shut up, Phil.
But yeah, no, it's true. It's true. It
is true, but shut up. He shouldn't say it.
Don't say it.
It's like the Marge Simpson line. He's true, but he shouldn't say it. Shut up, Phil. Phil is like the guy, what's his name? Benicio del Toro in Sin City. And he's like in the passenger seat. Shut up. Oh my god. Oh jeez. I like his new house. Phil, yes. Come on. We all do. We all love Returns, Phil.
It is good.
It is good.
It is a great movie. It is.
Oh my god. I love the remix as well. The remix where he cancels Penguin by using recordings.
Yes. Oh yes. Yes.
Yes. His little CD player. Oh my god, it's so great. It's so great.
That was a lovely 90s touch where Batman pulls out a CD, it's compact disc. Yeah. I was like, oh gosh, that's great.
He kept the receipts. Oh, so good.
But I also love that he just punches through the bottom of his car.
He's that strong. He's that awesome. I love it. Keaton's the best, honestly. Come on, guys. We've been saying this the whole time, but like Keaton is so awesome. Like everything, the voice, like how he even he doesn't go like all he does is talk lower.
Yes.
That's all he does.
Yeah.
Not too much. Maybe a little gruff, but just lower.
Yeah.
It's so good.
I love what he does. I love how he does it. It is more iconic. Like the thing is, Christian Bale is now a joke. His Batman has become a joke. Keaton has never been a joke.
Never.
He was a joke before Batman came out because people are like, how can Mr. Mom be Batman? And then everyone's like, oh my gosh,
Keaton is the greatest guy.
He is Batman. And 30 years later, we're like, he's still Batman.
Yeah, we're all old grandpas and we're buying out McFarlane toys of Keaton. Oh my God, Luke, that Batmobile sold out in 6 minutes. The one with the Batman 89?
I forgot.
It didn't matter. It sold out in 6 minutes, Luke. It didn't even matter. Absolutely did not matter because everyone loves Keaton.
To be fair, it probably wasn't going to be on Amazon UK.
Yeah, to be fair. Let's see what else. I was going to mention this too. The shot of Alfred with the headphones is so good. Yeah. When he just like looks at Bruce and he's all happy, like yeah, we're doing this. We're fucking with him. And I love that line where like, how come people always bring tomatoes and rotten vegetables to a meeting? It's so good. It's so funny. And it oh my God. Oh, can we talk about the introduction of Penguin to the world, where he says, "The hideous Penguin Man, please don't hurt me," and it's all a setup. It's all. I love that scene.
Yes.
I'm not one for speeches, but I just want to say thanks.
Yes.
So fun. Yes.
Yes. I loved it. I loved it so much. Everything. I don't know. Danny DeVito just knocked that out of the park. That role was perfect for him.
There's that video that keeps going viral, and I always share it whenever I find it, and I always tag you. There's a clip of Danny DeVito, and I think he's doing something for Vanity Fair. I think the lie detector test. Yeah. And they're like, "Do you know who this is?" He says, "No, that's Michael Keaton. He's Batman." And they're like, "Oh, that's your Batman?" He's like, "Yeah, he's Batman. He's the only Batman. Don't even show me any other Batman because this is Batman." I
love that. I do.
That's totally Luke. That's you.
It is. He brought such a heightened sense of terror and horror to that movie that no other Batman movie has replicated that. And I know they tried with Batman Begins with the evil gas and the scary the man bat scene and all that kind of stuff, but I'm like, none of that is truly as horrific as the nastiness of Penguin.
Returns. Yeah.
Just
like any of it.
Also, when he's like, when Catwoman eats his fish, and he's like, "I want to fill your void." I'm like, kids movie,
Yeah, like
movie.
they let him have the keys and just said, "We're going to let you. We're not going to interfere with you at all."
What
That's
do
so
you think
great.
about the Penguin? Maybe this is not the place to do this, but I did also feel that the Penguin is also a bit of a, again, in the 2023 light, very very Trumpian.
Oh,
I'm like, he's
jeez.
kind of Trump.
Well, I just feel like he's any political person because I feel like any political person that's nasty in the movie is usually a piece of shit like this. Because I like another example that
True.
comes to mind is like Dead Zone with Christopher Walken. Because I think
Oh, yeah,
Martin Sheen in that movie was a piece of shit and he was a political person. But yeah, I feel like any political person in movies are always that. But you could always connect it to something of that era. That's why
Yes.
movies are so evergreen. This is why
Yes.
this movie lasts forever because we could always see connections. Because things never change.
Yes.
Things always stay the same. It's just you connect to it in this era.
I agree.
That's why we love They Live. It still stands today because it's still true. We still
Yes.
live in that kind of shitty world with politicians and
Yes.
celebrities that are just like aliens and trying to live
Yes.
off the lower folks. And
Yes.
that's why like the movies like Network still are good because it's the same shit, you know,
Yeah.
different era.
Yeah.
RoboCop as well to a certain extent. There's like
Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I do like that they at least acknowledged that Vicky Vale was no longer there.
Yes, and they even mentioned the Batcave. Like I turn around and Vicky Vale's in the Batcave. Like, what the hell's that about?
Yeah. Yeah, I like that. He's like, wait, what? You know, yeah. I like that. To me, I was like, that's respect. Respect to your first movie. Because you know, everything after Returns is very muddy because it's not connected. It doesn't feel connected. They might have the same Commissioner Gordon, who's he's not really a character. He's just an extra.
I love it though. I love it. He's the guy from Land Before Time. It's great.
Yes.
I like Christian Young's comment. Make Batman horny again. I so thought they were going to do this with the Batman with Robert Pattinson.
I did too.
Because with Robert Pattinson.
Okay,
make Batman horny again. Because I remember seeing all that, like his costume. Like remember they did like the costume test, and it was like all bathed in red. I'm like, oh dude, are they going to go all horny with this? Because Catwoman was in it, and like it was all red, and like he had like sort of like. Because his Batman suit and the new Pattinson one is like all homemade, and it just looks like an essence. And it reminded me, sort of like echoed the Pfeiffer suit. Yeah, and I was like, is that where they're going with this? But they didn't.
No.
And I hope maybe it all depends what they do with the second one. Like he works with the mayor, he works with the town folk. He's horny. He kind of is horny because he can't stop staring at her when she's like we're like scantily clothed, we're sitting next to Penguin.
Yes.
There's something there.
Yes.
And a weird voyeurism in that movie too, because like there's so weird voyeurism in that. Maybe it is horny because he's seeing her world through her eyes. That's so weird. I don't know. That's my thing. It's there. There's something there.
It's there, but I would say it's superficial. Yeah. Whereas Returns is just full on Randy as hell.
They kind of did. It was brief. It was a bit like George McFly. Yes. Oh my God, dude! Robert Pattinson was George McFly. Holy shit! Oh my God, my mind is blown.
He fell off out of the tree before he could see anything.
Oh my God, that is so spot on. Yes.
What are you doing? Bird watching?
It all depends what they do with the second Robert Pattinson, because I think they could do it. They could rival Keane. They could rival. They could. It's possible. It's there. They got the seeds planted. Let's see. Oh yeah, Temple of Doom. Oh my God, the Temple of Doom scene in this movie. I was like, oh my God,
which is the Temple of Doom scene?
I'm going to explain it because I tweeted it on like all my platforms. But like I have Temple, like all the Indiana Jones movies are in my head now. They're on my head. So I'm watching this, and like when Batman's in the Bat Pod, his submarine. That's another cool vehicle. I like his submarine. But he's driving his little submarine bat boat, and then he's in the tunnels, and he sees that Penguin's moving. And he could either go right or left, and he chooses to go left. And all I could think was like, left tunnel, Indy, left tunnel. That made me laugh, though.
Yes. You know what? No, I don't know if that was in my head or not. That I might be getting. I'm getting confused with Dial of Destiny because there's a left. There's a left scene in Dial of Destiny as well,
where they gave.
Yeah, I think so. I'm pretty sure there's a moment where Faux Short Round and Dial of Destiny says to go left, and they actually go left. I think I might be misremembering that, but that's
I think so. But there was so much noise going on I don't know. And I think that was the point of the movie where my sister, like, she distracted me because she was like, I'm too old for these chairs. And she was trying to adjust, but it just cracked me up, and that distracted me because that was happening on like the same scene, I think.
Oh, I love it. I'm too old for these chairs.
I'm too old for these chairs.
Luckily, the cinema I go to has pretty decent chairs, so I don't have to worry. But,
but yeah. Again, like I think my last note on my page is, again, Warner Brothers did not give two fucks about this movie because they let Tim Burton do whatever with the penguin funeral. I love that.
Yes.
All the penguins are carrying him down there. It's so crazy. And then I like how he comes out the water with the bloody nose. I don't know how they did that. How'd they do that?
Probably.
Wait, maybe they had they would have some sort of thing because he does have a fake nose.
Yeah.
So it is possible they had it built in, but it just comes down.
Yeah,
it's so good.
I love it. Yeah,
and I like how he's wheezing. It's so gross. It's so gross, Luke.
Yes. Yeah. That's what we're watching this. I'm like more so than 89. It's monsters and zombies and madmen and just it's gruesome. It's a horror movie. This should be a Halloween movie. People should watch this movie Halloween because it is a horror movie.
Somehow it became a Christmas movie. It is a Christmas movie, technically.
Yeah, it's a Nightmare Before Christmas.
I was just gonna say that this is like what Burton likes doing. He likes merging Halloween and Christmas together, which is perfect. I think I love that.
It's a wonderful marriage of the joys of Christmas with the horrors of Halloween. Like it just, there's something about it that I think visually, the aesthetic of it has left a longer imprint on my mind than 89 has done.
Yes.
And I
there's more iconic visuals.
Yes.
Because there's the scene where Catwoman is looking through that the Felix the Cat design.
Yes.
There's that, and then there's like Keaton standing in the darkness where you just see his eyes and the outline of the shape.
Yes.
There's more iconic visuals of this that you could tell that Burton grew up.
Yes.
In the last because I think what do you call it? He did Batman 89, and then he did Edward Scissorhands, and then he did this. So like he's growing as a filmmaker, and it shows with this movie where it's think so. He has the budget and he's going to do what he wants to do.
What did you think of the bat wings? The kind of, do you remember when he does
I like them. They're cool because they kind of come back in Flash. They kind of because I think it goes as he's flying out of the thing. Yeah, I like it. I like it.
They were a bit cheesy for me. It's the only one of those few bits. I'm like, they look that looks a little cheap.
The little block. Yeah.
I
guess we could talk about that. What are some of your blots? Like the things you don't like other than that? There's not many, but yeah.
No, that's the thing is weirdly, I didn't write many. I didn't write many down because I'm so entertained by this movie.
Mm-hmm.
And I love what he does with it that I'm sort of like, I'm just on the ride. I'm enjoying the ride the whole time.
It is a ride. It honestly is.
Yeah. I know some people, I think you mentioned that the plot doesn't make any sense and stuff like that. And whatever.
Yeah. Because Phil mentioned it earlier in the chat. I don't know if it probably take too long to find it. But he did mention, what do you guys think about the firstborn children thing? Which is just I don't know. I just feel like Penguin is grasping at whatever he can, any ideas he have. He's almost like one of those old school Batman 66.
Penguin is a corrupt Moses.
Yeah. Oh, that's it too.
What happens with Moses?
Right. Shit, son.
There's that theology degree coming to good use.
Yes. Prince of Egypt, son. Prince of Egypt.
Yeah. So that to me is that's exactly what that is.
That is. There you go.
There you go, Phil. Dropped in the Nile and sent away, and instead of becoming a prince of Egypt, he becomes a prince of darkness.
Yes. Oh my God! And he tries to do what freaking Ramses did, and Batman's like, "No, he's Moses. Batman's the true Moses.
The true Moses." Yeah.
Oh my gosh! Yeah. Yes, so good. God damn it! All right.
Yeah. Batman Returns has there's more interesting layers, I think, than what I feel people give credit to. Because everyone talks Batman, and Batman is great. We love Batman, but like you said, Burton is progressing, and there's a something.
Unfiltered vision. This is unfiltered vision. This is just pure Burton.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, Robbo says the plot doesn't make sense. To me, the plot makes enough sense, and I think I condensed it earlier. It's that,
it doesn't make sense, but it's based on characters that he also says. Which is great.
Penguin wants revenge on the wealthy for what was done to him, and he's using all of this to gain power. Shrek wants a mayor that he can control and uses and knows that he can. This is a good guy to put in the office and motivate. And Catwoman wants revenge on Shrek because he killed her. And Batman's like, I gotta stop all these effing psychos.
Yeah, they all need to be stopped because none of them are good. I like how Phil's like, talk about the things I want you to talk about. Do you have the McDonald's toys returns? Oh my gosh. I don't have any of the McDonald's toys. I think I do, but they're in storage. Or like thrown in a box. I don't have any of them displayed. Maybe I do.
No. I did, but I don't any longer.
The closest thing I have for you, Phil. Is this. Batman the Animated Series Happy Meal toy.
Oh wow, I think I might have had that. I definitely had the
light on the subject.
What's her face? I had Batgirl. I had the
Batgirl. It is. Yeah. Batman the Animated Series. Man, when McDonald's actually made toys.
Yes.
All right. Yep, that's all I got for you, Phil. I'm sorry.
Soz, buddy. Sorry, I did have the one where he's in that weird little like tank and you stick his head down, but I put it away, so I don't have it to hand, so I can't show you. I can't show you.
So I guess. Oh, what were you gonna say?
Well, I'm probably gonna say what you were gonna say.
Let's talk about Batman 3.
Sure.
Okay. So, with the Batman 3, what would you think they would have done? I think they would have stuck with the same characters, and I think they would have tried to bring back Billy D. Williams because the only reason why Billy D. Williams is not in the third one is because they bought him out of his contract.
Yeah. Because there's that weird moment at the end of Batman Returns where we have like a fake Catwoman. And I have some weird recollection that like they couldn't get her back to do a scene. So they had to do like a weird scene from behind to show that
it's an animatronic.
That's right. It's not even real because it looks fake. It looks bizarre.
I still like that ending shot. That's more iconic visuals as well.
Yes. Well, I mean, I remember that shot more than I do Batman.
Yeah. Well, Batman is just him standing on the edge of that thing looking at the bastard.
Yeah, and I'm like, yeah, it's fine and all, but that creepy Catwoman, and it adds to the eeriness. But I do think it would. I think they probably would have brought her back.
Here's the thing: it was supposed to be a spinoff. And it took forever, Luke.
That's right.
And it took years, so long that they had to recast, and it became Halle Berry.
Oh my God! So that was the.
It took. Yeah, that's where it came from. That was the seeds because they wanted to have a Michelle Pfeiffer spinoff Catwoman movie, but it took forever. And Batman and Robin did do well, and they sort of went through a different route with Batman Forever and Schumacher.
Yes,
and it just took too long, and too long. You guys get that reference? I know me and Luke get it. Come on, guys, come on. But anyway, but yeah, it took forever. It took forever to make. But that's
I didn't realize. I didn't realize that the seeds were planted for that Catwoman movie because they were trying to do the Michelle Pfeiffer thing. Weird. Yes. Yeah, I would have liked to have seen her in a sequel. I think because they just had such good chemistry. It's like, yeah, bring her back. That's a good returning character. Absolutely would have loved Billy D to come back as Two-Face. I think that would make sense because you've set him up. You set him up so nicely, and also it's Billy D. Billy D, come on.
My sister doesn't know who he is, but that's hilarious to me.
I saw your message, your comment on that, where what was on your YouTube channel, where she was like, "Yeah, no, that guy who's
the
main guy,
yeah, not the main guy, but he played a character
literally one of the leads for 2 of the movies."
Yes, Lando freaking Calrissian, one of the best actors who ever worked in the history of film, and he also worked with freaking Diana Ross in 2 movies, Lady Sings the Blues, which I love, and I love Mahogany.
Yes.
Flip.
I just noticed Robbo's comment, which I like. If Tim Burton's Batman 3 happened, would we still have had the Batman McDonald's glasses or Hero sandwich? I wonder.
Ooh, I don't know. Because like Batman Forever is so McDonald's. Because he says, I'll get drive-through. And I think they did it with Returns. They did with Returns because he goes to the drive-through in the commercial for Batman Returns.
Yes, he does. Yes. It's fine because it's a commercial. They don't do it in the movie. I'll get drive-through. Come on. Yeah, I think if the reaction to Returns hadn't been so nuts, because those, I mean, people, I think kids were liking those toys.
Mm-hmm.
I think it still would have gone.
I don't know. I think they just were afraid. I think they're like, oh God, what do we have? It's very similar with the freaking Batman versus Superman. They were afraid with what they got, and they lost confidence. A vote of no confidence. A vote of no confidence on Zack Snyder, because if they just stuck with him and released that Snyder cut, like, bruh, they would have been the head of the curve. They would have beat Endgame. They would have beat Black Panther. It would have been like ahead of the game, but they lost confidence because I think you'd mentioned. I think you did like a bit more of the Snyder cut.
The Justice League, you mean?
Yeah.
The weirdly enough, I have. It's a very much a Zack Snyder film, but it is infinitely better. It's weird that 4-hour movie feels shorter than that 2-hour Joss Whedon abomination.
Yes,
absolutely.
But they similar, but like 20-30 years later that they're repeating themselves, or they just lost of confidence.
Yeah, I think we still would have got something.
Yes,
if they hadn't gotten scared. If Middle America hadn't been like, this film is bad for kids.
Because that was the era too. You got your Oprah Winfrey's, Donahue, and all that shit. Yeah,
I know. It drove me nuts. Like, the thing is, the funny thing, all this stuff is, all it did was made me want to go and watch this stuff more.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I'm gonna try and like not be like really strict about what like my kid can or can't watch, and not make big deals of it. Because like
that's of the past.
Yeah,
that's of the past.
The bigger deal you make, the harder they're gonna go and watch it.
Because that was like with me in horror films.
Yep.
For the longest time, my mom would not let me watch horror films unless it was Halloween.
Yep.
And then when I hit my teens and I could watch any horror movie, I got my whole shelf back here full of horror icons because I love them all.
Yep. I went to anywhere I could where I could rent movies. I was like, here I go. Let's see what I couldn't watch when I was a kid.
Same here.
Yep. It's just silly. And also now, like with streaming and stuff, it's way too easy to just get a hold of it. So just don't make a big deal.
Don't make a big deal. Just tell them to be responsible.
Yeah.
Watch responsibly.
Exactly.
Just do that classic Warner Brothers, like, before Looney Tunes. It was made of its time, of its era. It was wrong then. It was wrong now.
Yes. Yeah, but no, I do. I would. What would you want to see for a Batman 3? I mean, I can't go into like a plot detail.
I know. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what they would want to do or how they would even do it. Like, because Burton would want to do his own thing. I understand that. I would want to bring back like Sam Hamm to do the script again, just to bring back that voice from the first film. I would do that.
Yep.
But yeah, I think I would definitely want Two-Face.
Yes.
I think I'd want to keep it the same. I'd kind of keep it Two-Face and Riddler and sort of have Selena Kyle there helping.
That could be fun.
Maybe too many characters. Maybe have her come in at the end. I don't know.
What about Robin?
I was just thinking that. I was wondering, like, maybe
you would pitch Robin, but then if you don't have, then you don't have any good female leads, though.
It's a bit much because there might be too many characters.
Yeah.
But you would have to choose either do Selena Kyle or a new love interest.
Because I guess Batman Returns has 3 villains, kind of. It's got Christopher Walken, Penguin, and Catwoman. But Catwoman
and Adam West has like all the villains as well.
What in the movie in the animated? Yeah,
Adam West. Adam West. You haven't seen the Batman 66 movie.
I should, but
I've never seen the 66 movie. Oh my god!
Oh, wait! Oh wait, no! I mean the
Adam
animated
West.
one. The animated one,
not the animated one. The original movie from the 60s.
Yes, I have seen that one.
I was gonna say, Jesus! Oh my god! You had me
running
heart
around
attack.
with it.
Yes, the bomb, because they're all in it. You got a penguin
and the shark repellent. Yes, I have seen that. Sorry, I thought you meant the cartoon one. Because they did Two-Face, and William Shatner from Star Trek was Two-Face, the voice actor.
Smallville, Star Trek, James Bond.
No, James Bond. No.
I think the process for both Batman movies with Sam Hamm would write pretty true to the comic script, and then Burton would take the basic beats and concepts. And I think so. Yep, keep that going.
Yeah. I think what they were doing. I think the third in this would have been incredible.
The 89 sequel comic is fine. It's just too convoluted, and Batman acts more like comic Batman than Keaton. Ooh.
Interesting.
Ooh,
I need to read it. I'm going to buy it. I'm going to read it because I've not done it.
Yeah. And then I almost had a heart attack. Seriously, Phil. I know. I'm like, what the hell? You never seen the movie?
Yeah,
oh,
sorry.
my God.
Sorry. No,
you scared
I
me.
I
you scared the shit out of me. Oh, my God.
Promise.
But yeah, I think, for my movie, I would do Two-Face, Riddler. Catwoman possibly, maybe switch up the love interest. Let's keep it
yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
Maybe focus on the spinoff and then bring her back.
Yeah. It's funny. It's like Batman Returns is that movie where it almost has too many villains, and that other comic book movies try to replicate it poorly.
Yes.
And I think, because I'm sorry, but like The Dark Knight, trying to tag on a Two-Face episode at the end of this 2.5 hour Joker movie was like, what are you doing? I literally thought they were just going to set up Harvey Dent for the next movie.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. And then they fucking kill him.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And I thought he was still alive. I thought he was still alive until the third movie. I was like, oh my God, you're gonna kill him? Oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah. No, ridiculous. So yeah, I was like, oh, okay, come on. Whatever. So it Returns is a unique one in that they were able to balance the villains, a number of villains. And I know that it's tricky because Catwoman is more of a gray character.
Yes.
But
it's good though. She's supposed to be gray.
Yeah, and I think the another one that does it very well, don't laugh at me, but X-Men 2. Because you do have Magneto and you have Mystique, but then you also have Stryker. And but the balance is handled well with whose side you're on and what the focus is.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I'm kind of like Selina, Catwoman. Oh, sorry, Catwoman, Riddler, Two-Face. Would that be too many iconic people in one movie?
Yeah, I would kind of want to save that for like the fourth movie. Like
Yeah.
you introduce like two more, and then the fourth movie comes along, and then you could have, because I think they're going to do this with the fourth movie anyway, have Harley Quinn come in and sort of like picking up where the mantle where Joker left off, which I think would kind of be cool.
That would have been interesting.
I would like that.
Yeah.
Like she would be like younger, probably the daughter, 15, 20 years old.
Yeah.
Of Jack Napier.
That.
Yeah.
I like that.
And then she like hires all the villains to come after Keaton. And I think that would wrap it up where he defeats them all one fell swoop. And that would be like a 4-movie series where you introduce all these heroes. Last one, it's the big, giant, epic conclusion to the series.
Yeah.
Instead of doing a trilogy, just do like 4 movies.
Yes.
Because like Batman has so many villains, so many characters. It's like you want to do them all. Try to squeeze them all in as you can.
Yeah. Yeah. Otherwise, you get the problem of like a Spider-Man 3 where you have Sandman who Raimi wants to use, and then you have Avi Arad who's like, you must use Venom. It's like,
he's grieving. He's grieving, Luke. He's grieving. Wolverine's grieving.
Wolverine's grieving. Yeah. Could have been fun. It could have been fun. It's a shame. It's a shame that we didn't get a third Keaton movie, which I guess we sort of did with
We sort of do.
But you got to get through a lot of crap to get there.
Yeah. But he's so good in that. I guess we could kind of talk about this. This is like, as a little, epilogue to the conversation. But yeah, I mentioned it a little earlier or off top. I don't forget where I mentioned it. But like Keaton's performance, I don't know. He never lost a beat with the new Flash movie. He is the best part of the movie.
Yes.
And he is the same character.
Yep.
It's not different. It's not a different version. It is the same character, same tone.
Yep.
Same guy who's doing the files, same doing the research.
Yep.
And like he's so confident what he does. That's the other thing I like about Keaton's Batman. He's so confident.
Yes.
And he's always troubleshooting.
Yep.
If something doesn't work, he troubleshoots. He shifts. He pivots.
Yeah. Pivot.
But yeah, that's what I love about the new Flash movie, honestly. And like, I love his suit. I love his techniques.
Yes.
It's consistent. It's very fucking consistent.
Yes. And I think that's more him than I think it is the director.
Yes, it is.
And probably writers.
Mm-hmm. I know you didn't like him, but I felt like all his lines that he does, like his member berries, are sort of woven into the stories where they make sense. Like, I got to go up there.
Get nuts line does not make sense.
Other than that, I think that one, again, I think I told my theory where I feel like that was supposed to be like the end scene of like the end montage to see where all these heroes are. That definitely felt like an end montage. Like, hey, you want to get nuts? Let's get nuts, and then cut to black.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But other than that, I think a lot of the other ones I did like.
Yeah. I agree in that Keaton is the best bit of the Flash. He's the reason why.
He's the heart of the movie, kind of.
Yes. Without him, that movie would be 3 bombs.
Yes.
The reason it's a heater is because of him. Like it's
And-
not a rose, but it's a heater because of
Yeah.
him. Because he just it was great to see him. It's kind of like it's the Spider-Man No Way Home situation. That first hour and a half of that movie is dog shit. No Way Home. I'm not even gonna look at the chat and see what people say, but No Way Home is shit.
It's a slog to get through.
Yeah, it looks crap. The CGI backgrounds are awful. The storyline is stupid. Tom Holland is a terrible Spider-Man. Zendaya is a useless married. It's all just a High School Musical Spider-Man, and I fucking hate it. But once Andrew Garfield turns up, and then Toby, there's like there's that same pivot shift.
Yes, it's exactly because there's a gravitas to those performances. Because with what's his name, the Tom Holland. The reason why it loses all stakes to begin with is because, like, in the beginning of the movie, I feel like everything gets retconned, so it doesn't matter. But like the gravitas of these characters that we love, of Toby and even Andrew, even though I didn't love those movies,
but
I like him because he's a good performer. He brought a lot to that character. So there's like gravitas, there's respect, there's acknowledgement. I don't know, but yeah.
And I think that's kind of that's where both the Flash and No Way Home worked the best, I think.
Yes. No Way Home doesn't get good until the Willem Dafoe shows up. I would agree, because not only that, but like his fight sequence, he's like, I'm not going to do the movie until I do like a real life fight sequence. So that fight sequence was good because it was practical. It wasn't the stupid CGI fight scene.
The problem that I had is like what I will say is those moments with Dafoe and Dr. Octopus, those moments are good, but the film doesn't really pivot in that way until Spider-Man turn up.
Agreed.
For sure.
I do like Robert Brandon saying we're committed to the Rosenbaum rating. Yes. So on that note, let's wrap this up. Let's bring it on home. What's the Rosenbaum for Batman 89?
I think I'm trying to actually remember what I put on my letterbox, because I think I might have rated one higher than the other.
But the Rosenbaum rating, how many roses?
But with the Rosenbaum rating, I would Batman is 2.5 roses.
2.5 roses?
Yeah. And I would say Batman Returns, I'm being controversial here, and I'm giving it 3 roses.
Yeah.
It just goes for it, and I'm there the whole time. I'm with it. Yeah. And there's no prints anywhere to be seen.
I gotta give them both 3 roses. Both of them get both 3
Makes
roses.
Sense.
Just because I love, like, it works, like everything works for me in 89, and then after this rewatch, they are definitely companion pieces. They're like ends of the bookshelf. You need both of them.
Yes.
And that's the reason why it works. That's because, like, if you go into Batman Returns expecting, like, oh, you want to see more Batman, it's like, no, Batman's already been introduced. He's the same guy. He's not going to change.
Nope.
Like, if anything, he doesn't need to change. He needs to stay consistent. It's the people around him who need to change, which is sort of happens at the end of Selena Kyle, because she probably becomes a vigilante. We don't know. We never got that movie. But yeah, that'd be my thing. So Batman 89, what's your favorite scene?
Oh shit. Batman 80's favorite scene. You know what? I'm gonna go with. There are a lot of good scenes, but I'm going to go with the opening where the guy's like, "Who are you, man?" And he's just like, "I'm Batman," and he throws the fucker off the side of the building. I'm just like, that's Batman. It doesn't waste time, and I love the efficiency of that scene.
Yes.
I just like, that tells me everything I need to know about who this guy is as Batman, as a crime fighter, and what he thinks of scum criminals who prey on poor, not poor like wealth wise, but poor families, unsuspecting families. Like, I love that.
He protects kids.
He protects kids.
That's right. Oh my God, there's even a deleted scene with my favorite scene. Oh, hang on. Let's see. Before we start going on another tangent, my favorite scene in 89 would have to be, so when Batman, well, hang on, I'll just say it, because I was going to say from that scene to this. I guess it can because I'll include it all. So it's from the scene when Batman breaks through the glass ceiling until he knocks out Vicky Vale. That whole sequence.
Yeah, that is good. Yes.
That is all perfect. Because I
Yes.
was going to try to pick one of those scenes, but like that is all one sequence from
Yes.
that beginning. Because like he comes down, introduced, he does his thing, he fights in the street, and then it's my favorite sequence, Descent into Mystery, where they're driving through the thing,
Yes.
and then she tries to dig deep into him, and he won't allow it, and he says, "I need something from you," and it's good. It's like a mystery. It's a good transition. It's like almost like a Universal Monster transition where he puts the cape up, and it's almost like old-fashioned Universal Monster, where it would probably be like black smoke or something, and it would fade to like the next day. It's perfect. I love that.
Yes.
So Batman Returns. What's your favorite scene?
I think it's the party scene where they are at the masquerade party. And she's like, a mistletoe can be deadly, and it's like a kiss can be deadly, or blah, blah, blah. I'm like, that scene, man. Do we have to start fighting?
So good.
That's
so good.
That's it for me.
So good. Okay.
What's yours?
Batman. Oh God, it's difficult because
it's tough because it could also. I'm gonna give some runners up. Sorry.
Okay, give some runner up. You're fine. Do this.
Runner up would be her resurrection, Selina's resurrection. And also would be the one where she's on top of Batman.
No shit, Luke. I was going to say that. I think because I had to think. I'm like, do I want the cool, awesome Batman shit when the beginning when he's in the Batmobile taking care of it, or do I want Batman on Selina Kyle fucking?
Yeah.
So like, I think okay. So my top one is like when like she's on top of him, like riding him, and then licks his face.
Yeah.
That is like iconic visuals.
It is.
And it reminds me what I learned in film school. Because like when film became widescreen, you know what they did? And everyone took guesses and they're like, they laid the people down. So with this movie, they take the whole frame where Batman is on the ground and he's like powerless against her force. It's good. So that's like my number one.
Perfect.
Yep. Number two, it's got to be the opening scene when he's like, he gets up and then he goes down the town. And he's like taking care of business with his Batmobile and shit. And then the third runner-up, I think the third runner-up was him patrolling. Because so good. Because like that snow, the Batmobile driving down the roads, everything about that is great.
Yeah, I agree. There's so much stuff about Returns. It's just wonderful.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think
it's kind of like what you were saying. Like this is obviously we had this Indiana Jones debate where it's like, oh, Temple of Doom has all the iconic stuff in it. I'm like, I don't think so. But there's a lot of iconic stuff from Batman Returns.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to debate, does it have more? Batman is so iconic, I think, for Joker more than Keaton, whereas this has a good mixture of iconic moments for a lot of people. For Danny DeVito, for Michelle Pfeiffer, for Michael Keaton.
It's a lot more that stands out. It's more it's more visually pleasing. There's more iconic images.
Yeah.
Set pieces as well. I mentioned earlier, we mentioned it feels like a ride. They literally filmed a ride during this. I don't know if you know this, Luke. In Paris, France, there was a theme park. I think a Warner Brothers theme park.
Yeah.
And Burton filmed a ride based on this movie. So there's a lost Keaton movie out there that's a ride.
Oh wow.
Yep, and it's all the sets from Batman Returns.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I didn't know that. That would be cool.
Because I think all that exists are like bootlegs from VHSs. Because I think the ride was defunct before HD came around.
Right.
So all that exists are like bootleg VHS footage.
Damn.
But yeah, I only know that because I did massive research for my my own Batman videos.
Oh right, yes.
My fan trailers.
Yeah. Oh, Batman. I love these two movies. I don't ever care to watch. No, that's not true. I very rarely am motivated to watch other Batman movies, but if I am, most of the time it's one of these two.
Mm-hmm. I would recommend something that people probably don't even watch, but I think they should after this.
Yes.
People should watch those weird OnStar Batman commercials because it's a perfect blend of the Burton universe and the Schumacher films. Like those are really good commercials. Like they have like high production value and it's all based on these two movies.
Yeah, I sort of remember them a little bit, but yeah, I'd have to go back and look them up to refresh the old memory.
Because I think they're all like a minute long, and they're all like short films. It's fun.
Yeah. But there we are,
There we
Batman.
are. That's the Batman. We did it. We tackled
3
it.
hours.
And that's what we needed, because I think we took like an hour and a half on the first,
Just the first
30 minutes.
10 minutes.
The first 10 minutes of Batman.
It's
No,
so
wait.
good.
You know what I forgot to mention is the goddamn background of the stream. That is my favorite moment from Batman 89, the backup. That's my runner-up.
Which scene?
So in the background, see our little background here where the Batwing goes up
sorry,
in front of the moon. Yes.
Yeah,
That's a good moment. That's my runner-up for Batman 89. I just remembered because I'm like, oh shit, I forgot to mention that.
I'll add that too. Yeah, I'll steal that one. Yes,
because that's an iconic moment where he just goes in front of the moon, stays, and then comes back down.
that is a damn good moment. That was awesome.
By the way, Frank, your Tim Burton video went a long way helping me appreciate the artistry and made me love Returns in particular even more. Dude, yes, that whole video, like Robo Brand, I don't know if you know this, but like that Tim Burton tribute I did, it was just going to be a short video, like with like Edward Scissorhands, and then I'm like, I kind of want to add Beetlejuice to it. I'm like, I kind of want to add Batman to it. So then it just became a huge tribute video, and it made me appreciate Tim Burton more. So that's why I'm always like, because like Luke mentioned a few minutes earlier that Dark Shadows was bad, and he's like, but like my tribute video made me appreciate all those Tim Burton movies in some way, because like even though he's sort of like done everything, he's pulled all his tricks out of his sleeve, I feel like Tim Burton still has some magic in every movie. He still has that visual thing. He at least has one. It's like it's one. It's there.
Yeah.
It's not completely gone.
Yeah.
It's like what you were saying about Dial of Destiny. How Dial of Destiny doesn't feel like anything. There's like nothing memorable. There's no iconic visuals or anything like that. I think the only iconic visual is what me and Jonathan agreed on, where it's like the Nazis on the plane going back in time. I think like that's like the only iconic visual from Dial of Destiny. But like with Tim Burton still has that iconic eye. Crystal Skull still has that iconic eye from Spielberg, from those old filmmakers.
It does.
And even when we're talking about The Flash, there's no iconic visuals, I don't think, from The Flash that really stands out other than the...
No, I don't think so either.
So like the filmmakers these days don't have that iconic eye, I don't think, anymore.
No, I wonder if, I don't know if that's because, I don't know, this is with the way they shoot films now, or if because everything has to be so done
like
so
quick turnaround.
Quickly.
Yeah,
turnaround. That it's like there's no time to like really sit and think about how you want this shot.
Yeah.
Could
be. That could be it.
Yeah.
But there's some I'm not going to say no, it never exists, but there's some people out there still.
Yeah.
I want to say that before we get comments on here. What are you talking about? There's people who I'm just saying more recently, this summer specifically, when we saw Flash and Dial of Destiny.
Yeah.
Like visuals.
I'm seeing Mission Impossible tomorrow. Oh my god, I can't wait.
I'm scared, Luke, because that movie, it's got to be perfect, right?
I think it'll be okay. That's my hope.
That's the bar. It has to be. It just has to be okay.
Well, I mean, like in general, like okay, like I'm because this summer has been a summer of bombs. Like almost everything is bombed. I'm just like, will Tom Cruise be the summer savior again at the cinema, like he was last year with Top Gun?
I think so. Because I think that's what. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say Top Gun's success. It's not forgotten.
No.
And I think people will remember that versus like Flash and stuff.
Yeah. I think the big takeaway from these movies that do good that I've seen recently, like the movie has to be good.
Yeah.
That's the reason why they're doing well.
Yeah.
Like, I know you were kind of lukewarm on Mario, but like, it's still a good movie to bring kids to. There's a good message. There's great moments in there.
Yeah.
John Wick 4 did bank at the box office. It's a good movie. Creed 3, good movie. Maverick, good movie. If it's a shit movie that looks bad, people are not going to go to the theater to see it.
Yeah.
And I think that's what Hollywood needs to get on. They need to start working on the story, working on the plot.
I would love for like the shifts, and I'm not like crying for nostalgia, but it's like, look at what worked in 80s, 90s. Well, I don't get it.
He doesn't want us to go down a path. Like we were already talking about Batman, and now we're going to go down a Tom Cruise path.
All right.
No, we're just talking about film. We're just wrapping up about films in general, how they're different from Tim Burton's movies.
Yeah, I would love if we went back, but like looked at what worked in the 80s and 90s and early 2000s about like action movies and even superhero movies and other stuff. Like, where are the iconic rom-coms? Where are the iconic, teen comedies? Like, where's the new Easy A? Where's the new Superbad? Where's the new Knocked Up? Where's all that stuff? That was good shit.
Yeah,
back then.
Yeah, there's like some of them like they're still out there a little bit like the No Hard Feelings. I'm like that's like I want to support that just because I'm like that doesn't exist anymore. I need to support that. Yeah.
Yes, that's the blip. It's like okay, here's a little something that's kind of like what we used to do back in the day. But like where's the I don't know, where's the Home Alones? Where's that stuff?
Just the mid-budget movie. Where is that? Bring it back.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So I think on that note,
yes,
we'll wrap it up. So
we'll wrap it up. This was good fun.
Yep. So give them your connections, your socials.
I am Luke Writes Crime on Twitter and Threads. On
that's a new thing too. Threads.
Threads. Oh my God. Threads. And oh yeah, my YouTube channel. My YouTube channel is Luke Writes. Oh my God, my YouTube channel is the Luke Deckard Show, and I will do a show tomorrow night reacting to Mission Impossible. So you'll get pretty much right out of the cinema thoughts of Mission Impossible, and then on Wednesday I'm interviewing. This should be quite fun. I'm interviewing Matt Kaddish from the Salty Nerd podcast. He's also a writer, so we're going to chat some of his books and also writing and some of that should be fun. But yeah, you can find me there on those places. So go there. Go there.
Awesome. I want to thank the Chief Brody Rules crew here. That's really great for you guys showing up. That's awesome. Because I'm streaming on both I Want My TV Now and Chief Brody Rules, so it's good that the Chief Brody Rules crew was also here. So I want to appreciate you guys. I want to say that right now. The other thing is, my next week I'm not going to have a stream. I'm going to take a break because I'm working all day Saturday. So Sunday will be my day of rest, and then the 23rd I'm still trying to figure out. As the Lord intended it. As the Lord intended, and I'll work up on the third day. And then on the 23rd, I'm trying to nail down Phil for the 23rd. If not, I'll probably talk about.
Come on, Phil.
Probably talk about Mission Impossible on the 23rd.
Nice.
If anything, I don't know. I don't have anything planned for the 23rd, and then the 30th is me and Sarah. We're going to talk about Watchmen and Hunger Games.
I cannot wait.
That's going to be incredible.
Oh, watching that director's cut the other week was so good, so violent.
Oh my gosh! But yes, and on my socials are I Want My TV Now on Instagram. I Want My TV Now on Twitter. I think it's just Frankel's 2001 on Threads.
It is.
I'm not going to bother doing I Want My TV Now on Threads. And I got too many accounts. Just do Frankel's 2001. Oh, he's going to do it on the 23rd. Okay, good. 23rd guaranteed. What's the time, Phil? Can we negotiate the time on this little talking here? So like Threads as well.
Yep.
Frankel's 2001. And then YouTube again, Chief Brody Rules. But please, for those on Chief Brody Rules and you enjoyed this video and you like this kind of stuff, check out I Want My TV Now on YouTube, all one word. I Want My TV Now. But yeah, I do shows like this. Just last week I did a banger. It was my freaking yearbook video, which was an epic, almost 4-hour stream. Jesus Christ. But it was good. It's good. It's like 2 movies in one. Because the first part is all unboxing and the second part is all yearbook shit. That was great. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Did Phil answer yet? Do you see anything on your end?
No, he says, I'll do it.
Okay.
Oh, wait. He says, if you can do 2 p.m. your time, like today, that works.
Okay, great. Sunday, July 23rd, me and Phil fucking, oh my God. I'm excited about that one as well.
Because then I can bomb the chat. That would be great.
Yes.
I won't be falling asleep because it'll be like normal hours.
Yes. Normal human hours. So thank you, Phil. Can't wait to talk to you on July 23rd. And I Want My TV Now. Thank you.
Nice.
So with that being said, Merry Christmas, Alfred.
Merry Christmas, Bruce.
Goodwill to all men and women. And